founder. The question that you ask yourself most of the time is, how could I survive? How could I pay the bills? How could I just make enough, right? You're in that survival mode. Your challenge would be lack of capital. You don't have enough capital, sufficient capital to grow. You don't have that yet. You're still trying to make ends meet. The opportunity that you have is you could fail fast and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. And you want to pivot fast. Fail fast and pivot fast. You want to get to that minimum viable product, MVP, as soon as possible. You want to get it going. A breakthrough question that you could ask yourself is, who could be my mentor? How could you find someone who's been there and done that and kind of show you the ropes so you don't have to pay a lot of dumb tax? So you don't have to figure out everything on your own, because that's very, very costly. Stage 3, from $100,000 to $300,000, you are now a technician. You're the doer in your business. A lot of small businesses fall under this category: self-employed professionals. Your focus day-to-day is, what do I need to do today? What do I need to get done, right? What fires do I need to put out? Very, very common. Your problem is lack of leads. You don't have that consistent lead flow that's coming in every single day. You don't have a system for that yet. The opportunity that you have is building that loyal customer base, making sure that your clients and customers, they're satisfied with your products or services. That's the key. That's what you need to focus on. That's the opportunity. And a breakthrough question that you could ask yourself is, how could I make that first profitable sale? And unless and until you have a predictable way of bringing in customers to the business, you don't have a business, you have an expensive hobby. When you can crack the code to making that first profitable sale, that means now you can buy customers. You can go onto social media, you can advertise, you could acquire, you can advertise and bring those customers in. But that's the key question. How do you acquire? How do you make that first profitable sale? When you can make the transition from the doer of your thing to a marketer of your thing, you will see a jump in your income. And that's when you transition to the next stage, stage number 4. You're now a marketer from $300,000 to $1 million a year. A very powerful question to ask when you are a marketer is, how could I sell more to my existing customer base? What else do they need? What's next? We have solved this problem for them. What is the next problem? What is the problem after? What's the next thing that I could offer to them? What other things I could offer to them? That should be your focus as a marketer if you want to break through the income ceiling. And that's where most entrepreneurs are stuck, even the good ones. They're very good at marketing their thing, but they don't understand what got you here won't get you there. They don't know how to transition to stage 5. At stage 5, you're doing between $1 million to $3 million a year. You are now an operator. Now, as an operator, your primary question is, how could I get more done? Because now you're running a business, you've got a team kind of going, maybe a small team, you're busy, right? You're selling, it's fine. But then you're kind of stuck and you don't know what to do next. It's not like you're a startup, but it's not that you're so big that there's a lot of profit left. So from the outside, you look pretty good. You've got a business that's doing a couple $1 million, but that's not enough. That's not giving you the freedom that you want. And you're a little bit stuck here. So as an operator, your challenge is lack of team. You don't have a competent team. So the opportunity is, how do you attract competent people who share your vision? Why would they want to come and work for you and join your team? That's a very important question to ask yourself, and to be very, very honest with yourself. And if you don't want to be the one that is doing all the work, that's making all the decisions, a key question you have to ask yourself is, how do I apply process and procedure? How to apply that in my business? That's how you transition to stage 6. Stage 6, from $3 million to $10 million, you are now a leader. Congratulations, because most entrepreneurs never get to this level. Now, at this level, you're asking yourself, where can I find good people? Where can I find good people? Because you are growing, you're in hyper growth mode, right? There are so many things to be done, so many initiatives. You don't have enough good people to perform all those tasks. Your challenge is lack of leadership because no one taught you how to be a leader. You don't know how to lead. You are a good operator, and as good as you are operator, that doesn't automatically make you a leader. It's a very, very different skill. And yes, leadership, it is a skill set. So a very powerful question that you could ask is not, where can I find good people? It is this, how can I create an environment so that good people will want to join our team, to join our company? You now think about it in a different way. How do you attract good people? Not just pursue, but how to attract them. And if you are good, you will transition to the next stage, a stage that very few entrepreneurs ever see. That is stage 7, a manager. That's correct. A manager is at a higher level than a leader. I know that's counterintuitive. Let me explain. Just stay with me. From $10 million to $30 million, you are now a manager. But now there's a problem. Now you've got a bigger team, right? Your problem is lack of transparency because now you have more people. And it would feel like, how come you have more people, but everything gets slower? Everything is not getting done as fast as when you had a smaller team, because now it's not just you as a CEO. Now you have layers and layers of communication. It's not just you to one person, it's you to one person, to the other person, to the other person. It's a different thing. So a very powerful question to ask is this: how can I create more leaders? You see, a leader takes effective action. They make effective decisions. But a manager, a great manager, creates more leaders. And that is what is going to get you to that next level. And that is stage number 8. From 30 million to 100 million, then now you are an innovator. Very few people ever get here. Very, very few. Chances are the question that you will ask yourself every day is, how can I empower my leadership team? Because now you have a leadership team. But your biggest problem is not growth. Your problem is something else. It's how could you sustain this business? It's one thing to be successful, and now you are successful, but then how do you keep it going? How do you stay successful? The opportunity that you have is now it's time to bring on a CEO or a COO to run your business. A breakthrough question that you could ask yourself is this: how can I stay in my zone of entrepreneurial genius so that you're creating, you're innovating, you're coming up with ideas and strategies, but you have a leadership team, you have a COO or CEO running the day-to-day, running their business. So maybe you go out and start another business, right? Maybe you start another division. Now it's a different thing. Now to me, you are a true entrepreneur. But there's one more stage, and that is stage number 9, and that is from 100 million and beyond. Now you are an acquirer. See, you asked a very different question. Now you're asking, what should I invest in? You've already got the money. Your business is working. The key is, how do you convert that profit into investments? And chances are you are the category king or queen in your industry. You are the big 800-pound gorilla. You are the leader in your industry if you're doing $100 million. Depends on your industry. You're doing well. You are doing good. But now the question is not so much growth and growing more and more, but it's, what's my legacy? What is my legacy? So those are the 9 stages within the Dragon 100 path. Comment below, where are you at now, and where are you stuck, and where do you want to be?
Man's a force of nature.
He's improved, arguably millions of lives where they can provide themselves with more money. His materials are great, excellent. He's at the top of his game.
Everything he says has a purpose, and everything he does is done with heart.
What I've seen from Seafood Unlocked, I didn't see it from anyone else. He's done it, he's been there, and he's still doing it.
Because of the Unlock, my revenue went 30% up.
I actually get like a clearer picture of how I should run my business. I can feel it that he really, truly want to help his students.
Started taking hold of more advanced strategies on building our brand, creating content, leveling up our team.
In an environment where I could actually be around people that were going to support that, encourage that, and hold me to a higher standard.
Dan is a great mentor to get you not only in the right frame of mind, but then to give you the know-how, the tools, the skills to get there.
If you will just follow his advice, go step by step according to his blueprint, you will achieve results more than you can imagine about.
And sometimes when you get so close to your goal, a lot of us, we just give up. We quit when we are this close to achieving that goal. You see, success is on the razor's edge of failure. When you think it couldn't get any worse, when you think it couldn't be worse than what you're going through right now, when you think it couldn't be any tougher, that's when breakthrough happens. Sometimes in life, you break down before you break through. You see, it's never a matter of lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness. That you're not creative enough, that we are not creative enough, that we don't think outside the box enough. In business, the best team wins, period. Because the best team, doesn't matter what happens to the marketplace, the economy, the product, that they would find the solutions. They would be resourceful, and they would always be able to solve problems with the right team and the right culture. You want to think a few steps ahead and solve problems before it comes up. It's not about resources, it's about becoming resourceful. So taking extreme ownership in all things you do. And I always believe how you do anything is how you do everything. Not just at work, but other things in your life as well. So I want you to think about your business. When you don't have that resources, when you don't know somebody, don't let that stop you. How can you find that person? If you get to meet that person, it'll open up the door of possibility for you, right? How can you befriend with that person? How can you add value to that person's life? When you can do that, that is something that a lot of successful people do, that they just don't tell you. I do the same thing. It's the example of don't take the stairs, find out where the elevator is, and then take the elevator. That's why I hate to hear, it pisses me off when people say, I've tried everything. No, you fucking haven't. There's always a way. What is the one habit that will make you poor forever? Now, before I teach you that one habit, let me ask you a question. Why do you want more money? Comment below. Why do you want more money? Now, for most people, they would say, oh, because I want to, buy a new house. I want to buy a new car. I want to buy a new watch. I want to be able to buy that new dress, that new pair of shoes. I want to pay off my debt. I want to be able to do whatever I want. I want freedom. I want to take that vacation. I want to help my family. I want to impact people. So comment below, why do you want more money? I believe every one of us has a money story. Now, what is a money story? I believe it is a story that is a turning point in your life when you first recognize the importance of money and why we need money. Now, for some, it may be when you were a little kid, the first time you go to your parents, you say, I want that candy, I want that toy, I want that little toy car, I want that doll, I want whatever it is. You go to your parents and they say to you, no, what, you think money grows on trees? We don't have money, we can't afford it. Now, that could be your money story, or your story could be that maybe when you were going through high school, you didn't have a lot of money and you were wearing the same pair of pants and same pair of shoes every day, and your friends, they laugh at you. right? Oh man, why you don't wash your clothes, you wear the same thing again and again, and you register that, okay, darn it, I need to look a little different. Or they have the new cell phone and you don't have the new cell phone. They have the latest computer and you don't have the latest computer. You're like, darn it, I want that thing. I need to make some money, right? Maybe that's your first encounter with money. Or maybe it is a time that is when your family needed help, that they need financial help. Maybe they need medical help, but you're not able to provide, and you remember that. My money story was when I first was going through high school. And one time when I came home, I saw my mom in the bedroom. I was in the living room, and I eavesdropped, and she was having a conversation with somebody, and I could hear her crying on the phone. So I knocked on the door and I said, Mom, is everything okay? And she opened the door and she said, no, everything's fine. I'm just talking to your father. And later on, she told me that my dad actually went bankrupt in Hong Kong, that his business partner basically took all his money and disappeared. And that left him with almost over $1 million in debt in US dollars. So he had to file for bankruptcy, and he could no longer support us financially, and he could no longer send us allowance. We're kind of on our own. And my mom has never worked a day in her life. She's just a housewife. She sacrificed and spent all that effort just taking care of me and raising me as a child. And in a country where we don't speak the English, and my mom still can't speak English. In a scenario like that, I learned about the importance of money. I learned that not having money equals pain. Not having money equals lack of security. Not having money equals being a disappointment for your family. That's kind of my first encounter with money. Now, what has this to do with the one habit that will make you poor? So I want you to think back and comment below. Think back your money incident, your money story. When was the first time that you got it, that you're like, oh, I need money. I need money to survive. I need money to do whatever. I need money to solve this problem. I need money in order to do this X or Y thing. And suddenly, finally, I'm having a little bit of money. I'm having a little bit of success. I wanted to show off. I want to show people that, hey, you know what? I am smart, that I am somebody. I'm not the invisible kid in high school. Look at me. Look at how good I am. Like I'm better than you. It was all ego driven. It was all pride driven. I was getting a new car every year. I was buying all kinds of stuff that I don't need. If you really think about why you want money, and you might want all these things, but my guess is when you go deeper, you actually go deeper. I believe we're actually going after a certain feeling that I want, a certain feeling that you want. Now you may be thinking, no, Dan, I don't care about the materialistic things. No, you're still going after something. Maybe you want the freedom. You want to travel. You want to be able to work from home. You want to be able to impact other people. You want to be able to help the charity that you want to support. There's something that you're after. You're just going after it in a different way. Does that make sense? We're after certain emotions that money could provide for us. So what happens is, then we want to buy those things. We want to buy things that gives us those emotions to make us feel good. And that's how most people end up spending money we don't have, buying things that we don't need to impress the people that we don't even freaking like. And that's what I did for a period of time, for a long period of time. I thought that's what it is. You have money, you spend it, right? You buy things, you buy cool things, and you buy the next thing, and you think that next thing would give you that feeling, that emotion that you are craving for. Not there. And you think, no, maybe that next thing would be it, and it's still not it. Right? And I was chasing these emotions. Okay, if I do this and do that, then I will finally get it. What I didn't recognize is that's actually not how it works. The habit is if you always want to buy things to make yourself feel better, to be validated, to prove other people wrong, you'll always be poor. Instead, if you feel good about yourself, you have a healthy self-image. You don't care about these things. You buy these things not because you want to prove somebody wrong, because you want to show off, you want to do whatever. You buy them simply because you like them. You buy them because you enjoy them. It gives you comfort. And money is simply a tool. It gives you comfort. It gives you peace of mind, right? It gives you time. Yes, money allows you to buy time, allows you to have more choices in life. You could say no to things because you don't really need the money. So think about in your own life, how much money you spend, be very honest, you spend to impress others. And instead of spending that money to impress, what if you spend that money to invest? Invest in yourself, invest in your own self-education, invest in things that would enrich your life emotionally, spiritually. Invest in experiences that you will always remember. Invest in that. So spend money to invest. Don't spend money to impress. 5 skills you should learn during lockdown. Now you have a choice during lockdown and during the coronavirus, and we are all stuck, right? We are staying home, and now you have a lot more free time. Now you could choose to waste that free time, or you could choose to invest that time to do something productive. And I think one of the most productive things that you could do is actually to learn a skill set. Because when this is over, when this thing is over, and it will be over, it's only a matter of time, the world will start spinning again. What are you gonna do, right? Maybe that you're a little bit concerned, and maybe you have unfortunately lost your job. But when things get back to normal, you'll go out there and get a new job. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Because things are different now. Things have changed. Industries have changed. The world has changed. So are you ready? Are you prepared to go after that new opportunity? Or maybe go after that other job that you've always wanted? Or maybe go for that new promotion, or go start that new business. Whatever you want to do after this crisis, what would allow you to do a lot of those things are your skills. I believe during this lockdown, some of the most valuable skills that you could develop, that you could learn, meet these 4 criteria. Number 1, a skill set that has an immediate impact on your life, your career, or your business. Not a skill set that it takes years to see any results, but something that you could learn right now and you could implement, something that's very, very practical. Second, that it doesn't take you years to learn, that you don't need to go back to school again for 4 years of education. Instead, you could learn these skill sets in months, or sometimes in a matter of weeks. Number 3, that you could learn from the comfort of your own home, that you don't need to go to a physical location. You could learn this from your computer, just from your own home. Number 4, you could learn at your own pace, meaning that if you want to binge watch and binge learn, you could do that. Or you want to pace yourself, you want to learn it through a period of time, maybe over a number of days or number of weeks. In your spare time, you could do that as well. So I believe skill sets that meet these 4 criteria, those are very valuable skill sets to learn. So what are the 5 skills you should learn during this lockdown? Now you can pick any one of them. Don't try to go crazy and learn too many. Number 1 is coding skill. Coders, programmers, developers, software engineers, they will always be in demand, especially with the virus. After this is over, think about the companies. Forget the companies who couldn't make it, but think about the companies who survive. If you were the business owner, what are you going to do differently? Are you going to take what you do and automate certain aspect of it, virtualize certain aspect of your business? Maybe you shut down completely your physical locations and just do it online. Things have changed. People learned. They would structure their business differently. You would structure your business and life differently. We learn from it. So what the coronavirus did is to accelerate that process. It's a trigger. What it means is people who know HTML, CSS, PHP, they will be in demand. So if you have an interest or you're thinking about it, coding skill is extremely valuable. Skill number 2 ties to the coding skill, which is digital marketing skill. More businesses, more companies, if they have been doing some businesses online, they've been selling online, now after this coronavirus, they will be more motivated. Before, it's like it's nice to have, it's nice to sell online, it's nice to do social media. Now it becomes a necessity. Now it becomes the new normal. Businesses who've always been doing business just offline, now they'll be thinking about, okay, my goodness, we get through this, we have to change. We have to restructure our business model. How could we take what we do and do it online? Example, if you have, let's say you're running a few gyms and you have people coming in and out all the time. And now with this, your gyms are shut down. When you come back and when you bounce back, now you're thinking, how can I take my fitness training? How can I take my nutrition plan? How can I do this? And how could I serve the world? How can I sell this on the internet? So what it means, if you know how to build funnel, if you know how to generate traffic, you know how to do media buy, you know how to build websites, all those skill sets will be high in demand. It's already high in demand, but the ones who are good, you will always be in demand. Even though you may not be thinking about doing digital marketing full time, but if you are being interviewed at a new job, if you have that skill set, you can bring that to the table. It adds so much more value to your resume. Skill number 3, closing. The ability to close products or services, to sell them over the phone or over the internet through Zoom. Those are very valuable skills. With the coronavirus, with this crisis, companies are now looking into the entire sales division and saying, oh my goodness, we have all these salespeople. How could we outsource this? How could we have a remote sales team instead of a sales team with a physical location? How could we sell our products or services over the phone without a massive overhead? They're thinking differently. So if you have the ability to close phone sales, if you have the ability to close products and services, companies are willing to pay you a hefty commission when you can demonstrate that quality, when you can demonstrate that you have that skill set. Closing will be one of the most high demand professions in the world because companies need revenue. They need salespeople. They need skillful salespeople, and they need that more than ever, especially when things are coming back to normal. They need revenue and they need closers. Skill number 4, project management. Now, because of Slack, because of Zoom, because of people working remotely, companies working remotely, companies outsourcing, with so many projects going on, that creates a new demand for project managers, right? People who are able to manage different projects and get stuff done. We're talking about Scrum, we're talking about Agile, we're talking about various project management methodologies. With the complexity, with so many companies now, even after this, moving more motivated than ever, moving more to virtual. So guess what? With project managers or just people with project management skills, because now chances are you will be working with people face to face, but also you will be working with other people, other team members remotely. So this skill would be very useful. Doesn't matter what it is that you do. Doesn't matter if you're working for a company. Doesn't matter if you're working for yourself. It doesn't matter if you're running your own business. This will be a valuable skill to have. Skill number 5, one of my favorites, copywriting. Every single social media post that you see, every single email, every single ad, every single landing page, copywriters. Companies that do any type of content marketing, companies that do any type of advertising, they need copywriters, and they will always be needing copywriters because it's not just one email, it's not just one page, it's not just one article. In order to stand out in this noisy world, in this marketplace, content marketing is extremely critical. They will need someone to write that script. They will need someone to write that social media post. Almost every single company out there, if they do any kind of online marketing at all, will need a skillful copywriter. And the beauty with copywriting is it has nothing to do with writing. It has to do with selling and closing. That's why I call that closing in print. Copywriting is a learnable skill. I know because I flunked English twice when I was in high school. It is learnable, it is transferable, it is sustainable, and it is doable. If you want to learn copywriting, if you want to learn a skill that pays the bills, if you want to learn a skill that allows you to work from anywhere in the world, from the comfort of your own home, a skill set that doesn't take you years to learn without getting into debt, click the link below and join me for my free exclusive training today.
How do you motivate your people? You don't. You find motivated people. You find people who are already motivated, and that's it. In the beginning, you would want to hire for attitude and train for skills. When your business goes to a certain stage, then you want more skills. I wouldn't bring on someone who actually doesn't have the experience. I need someone with it, because I don't have time to train that. Depends on the role, but I'm in senior position. I need someone who's done that. Just like I'm not gonna hire someone to manage my books who doesn't have accounting. It's the same idea, right? But in the beginning, you want those, when you're smaller, motivated, attitude, because they could get the skills, right? You cannot train them on the attitude. Even without tools, it is your interview process. If you ask them about, like, you know, tell me about yourself and all of that stuff, you don't get the, you don't get the, it's the lie, right? One thing I do, a number of things I do is I need to test them. I call them do-first tests. You test them ahead of time. Example, one thing that I used to do, example would be, let's say Lawrence, okay? You apply for positions for my company, okay? Then I'm gonna say, okay, Lawrence, we are going to meet at 5:30 a.m. I wanna see how he reacts. Oh, that's a bit too early, that's like traffic and my kids. We're done.
Actually, I've done that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
I use that all the time.
It works, you know, if they really want it.
Pick the oddest hours and stuff like
Oddest hours, okay, and then I would say, okay, so Lawrence, we're gonna meet at this place, okay? It's purposely in that place. And I would say, so Lawrence, now before, let's say you're applying for a management position, okay? I might say something like, oh, Lawrence, do me a favor, when you come, can you pick up, I don't know, in BC would be the Vancouver Sun newspapers. Can you pick that up for me, please? And can you bring the sports section? We're gonna use it for our interview. Now, if Lawrence shows up and he comes in and he brings exactly that newspaper, except let's say if he forgot to bring the newspaper, what does that tell you? It's these little things. It is. You let them know. So it's not like you try to not try to get people. You try to actually filter people. You give them obstacles. So I would say, let's say you bring the sports section, let's say you bring the newspaper and the sports section, which is great. That's a doer. The ones who are really good, they might bring the sports section, just in case they might buy another newspaper in case you need that one too. That, you know, that's a behavior thing, right? And then when they showed up, some who are really good might actually, I've seen, they memorize the scores in case you quiz them.
Oh.
Some might do a little spreadsheet. All these things tells you what kind of people are they, right? And one thing I do, I'm gonna grab this, make sure I don't fall. I'm gonna demonstrate. So hey Jack, welcome to the interview, right? Okay. So he brought me this, right? He brought me this. So then I'm like, so okay. So this the newspaper, is that right? That I ask?
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. That's good. So I'm just gonna grab something. Just have a seat right now.
Okay.
Then walk away. Now, then when I come back, I'm looking at the behavior. Some people, they put a newspaper, they're like, because she asked me to sit, so I sit. So what does that tell you? Guess what happens when they start working, when you're not around? They're gonna make some stupid mistakes and they're afraid to tell you. 1 minute I find out their personality. Some are afraid to sit. If they're afraid to sit, it means that when they started working, they will be afraid to make any kind of moves without you telling them. They don't initiate. They wait for you to tell them what to do, because they know it's like kind of odd, right? The ones who are good, maybe they just come here and then they just, normal thing, just like you might just do this. It's a very normal thing, right? And then when you come back, okay, do you still need this? Should I put it aside? Right? That's someone that's proactive. A simple trick like that tells me a lot about you. That's one example. I don't need to read your resume. And then through the questioning period, you know a lot if you know, like that's one simple move. Right? Makes sense?
I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Thank you, that's a pleasure. So I have a question. I first, 1 year ago, I came up with a business plan.
Okay.
I converted it to a business model.
Okay.
It took 6 months for convince myself. So I analyzed because I'm an economics student. So I was analyzing, and now I'm pretty confident that I want to take my idea to the world. So after analyzation, I came to know that I require $2 million. So I want to ask you, what are the first 3 steps for this plan to implement? Because you said 99% of the plan is to implement.
Yeah.
I 100% believe in this. This is what my thing was also. So what are the first 3 steps to implement the plan?
I'll give
highly
you
related to the education.
Okay, so I invest in entrepreneurs through my company Dan Lok Ventures. We fund up to $1 million. Now, so often I can tell you this. Young entrepreneurs come to me and they say, Dan, I need $1 million. I don't know why it is, but it's always $1 million. Okay, they just pull this idea out of thin air. And then when I really sit down with them, and I would say, okay, you say $1 million, we're going to spend that on. And they'll tell me we're going to spend it on. But then when I challenge them, I say you don't need $1 million. You actually need like 50K to develop the minimum viable product to get it out there. Because if the 50K doesn't work, the $2 million doesn't work either.
Awesome.
Right? It's develop that minimum viable product and then to get on the marketplace to get feedback. Because whatever you think this product is, you know you're going to go through version 2, 3, 4, 5. Not from your own research, from the marketplace. The feedback loop from the marketplace, now you improve it while you're selling it. So I like to challenge any entrepreneurs, how can you make sure the idea is self-funded? That you get out there, you're getting some money coming in, you improve it, you get out there, get the idea, get that going. Not just, I'm going to throw a couple $1 million into it and see how it works.
Yeah, but what if I come to you and you're ready to convince? I'm pretty much confident that I can convince you for my business plan. And what is the quantum of degree that I want to explain? I have this big plan. It requires 3 minutes. So what do you think as an entrepreneur, when I reach to fundraisers, what quantum of the plan should I express them? Should I express them in total or should I express them in 50% or until they accept? So how's it actually happening in this world?
No, you got to pitch in the whole thing.
All the things.
Everything. Now first of all, get them to sign an NDA.
Okay.
It helps, but it helps a little bit, non-disclosure. Then second, when you pitch them the whole thing, but then you don't need to, if you need to worry about if they steal your idea to implement, then that to me, your idea is no good. Because your idea should be good enough that they cannot do it without you. There's certain aspects that, I give you the idea, doesn't because you don't have this piece that I know, you don't have this tech that I have, there's something that you control, they cannot do without you. If you can pitch to somebody and they can copy in 2 minutes, then why does it tell you, what the hell does it 2 years, right? You need to have some aspects of control. Then you can share all you want. Hey, here's my idea. You pitch enough and someone will say, hey, that's a crazy idea, but I like it. I'm not gonna give you $1 million, but I'm gonna give you 50K, see what you can do. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
The story is, one time Ray Kroc was speaking to a group of university students, asks the students, what business do you think I'm in? All the students are saying, oh, Ray, of course, we know you sell hamburgers and fries. You're in the hamburger business. And Ray said, no, I'm not in the hamburger business. I'm in the real estate business. That's partially true. That's what most people know. I'm going to give you something more advanced. You want something more advanced?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's what people think of. It has evolved a lot. First of all, McDonald's owns some of the most expensive real estates in the world. They have a lot of different locations. The only reason they offer fries and burgers and all that, they are really in
three businesses. One, they are what I call in the business in a box business. Some people call that franchise business. I call that business in a box business. Okay? So people buy McDonald's franchise, they're buying business in a box. It's turnkey. Walk in, ready to go. Why they need to sell the fries and the burgers and all that? Because it is cheap. Mass appeal, because they need to, the franchisee needs to be able to make a decent income so that to pay McDonald's the rental income. So McDonald's goes in and buys this piece of property, builds it, which do you think they have a proven system how to build these things at a good cost, quickly? You bet. They build tens of thousands of these, right? Franchisee comes in, pays them money, which is about now $1.1 million, right? To buy McDonald's franchise, which they would, guess what, leverage that to get the financing to build this thing. So there's no money out for them, but they own that piece of real estate that you're leasing now, and you buy. Oh yeah, you are built-in tenant. So that's the first business. So they sell you the business, they make money up front. They own the piece of real estate, they make money monthly. But that's not the biggest business. The third business is not even the royalty. They get the royalty income too. Yeah, multiple streams of income right there. But the biggest business they have, McDonald's right now is the largest suppliers to this. Your straw, your napkin, the burger meat, that's where the business is. They're not in the retail business anymore. They're in the wholesaling business. Think about the volume. It goes through McDonald's. So, because if you only have a retail business, they don't touch the retail. That's not retail. It's expensive. So they minimize the risk by having the franchisee pays for it because they develop this phenomenal business in a box. And then you have the real estate, which builds massive amount of wealth. They can refinance, get another location, all kinds of stuff they can do. And third, wholesaling, just all day. How many fries they supply every day to the world? How many burger meats, how many nuggets, how many, this is why McDonald's is very strict. You never ever buy, you cannot, let's say if I'm a franchisee and I can find somewhere I can buy napkins cheaper. Can I buy that? No. Every single thing you gotta buy from McDonald's. From the napkin, from the straw, from everything, from the paper that wraps a damn burger. You have to buy from McDonald's. Everything. I don't know, I'm not so sure if they even, I'm not sure, I haven't done my research this one, I don't know. I'm just guessing they might own some shares in Coca-Cola. I wouldn't be surprised because they don't have Pepsi, they don't have Coca-Cola. Vice versa, maybe Coca-Cola owns some shares on the. I haven't done my research, I'm just guessing. That's what I would have done, right? Because if I'm the JV partner, Coca-Cola in all the McDonald's, I might as well own the shares and get some dividend income. And it's a strategic alliance anyway. More money they make, more money I make. So you see, it's not very obvious, a lot of these things. You think, oh, they make money selling hamburgers. That's a very low level of way of viewing a business. You look at it, it's like, oh, they make multiple streams of income. And it's got a real estate play in it, which is brilliant. Because think about it. Someone buys a franchise. Let's say the franchise doesn't work, it could happen. Not often in McDonald's, but it could. What's their risk? They take it back, they sell it again. And then, so think about this, right? I'm at McDonald's, you bought a franchise from me, and then we're running it, it's not quite working, you put $1 million, I'm sorry man, it's not working out. And then you're like, oh man, but I'm on a hook on a lease for like 10 years. You know what, no worry, it's okay. No, you can exit. You lost a lot of money, I feel bad for you, right? Now take back, but you're on a hook for the lease, right? So don't worry about that. Now go to the next person. He's a ready-to-go McDonald's franchise. You know, usually when you start from scratch, it's $1 million. Take it over $500,000. I'll make it work for you. I'll make it work for you, you know, right? I just have another tenant. I already collect $1 million up front, and now I supply. Now I go in with my expertise, McDonald's, see if we can fix this location. They actually would make more money, I'm guessing this, selling a second time. Because all my costs are already recouped it. The second time, this is free money. They would be more profitable selling a second time. If I'm guessing, I don't know. I haven't looked at the financial. I'm just guessing, right? I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, nice to meet
Nicholas
you.
from Colombia. So it's just two short questions. First, do we have to, you said, most important skill, selling.
Selling.
Right?
Selling.
Sie sind auf dem besten Weg, eine großartige Website zu erstellen. Gehen wir alle Dinge durch, die Sie über den Editor von Wix wissen sollten. Mit Wix haben Sie die komplette Gestaltungsfreiheit. Klicken Sie auf jedes einzelne Element, um es anzupassen, Ihren Text zum Beispiel. Wählen Sie ein Bild. Laden Sie Ihr eigenes Bild hoch oder stöbern Sie in der Kollektion von Wix. Es gibt hunderte von kostenlosen Bildern, aus denen Sie wählen können. Auf der linken Seite können Sie alle Seiten Ihrer Website verwalten und jederzeit weitere tolle Funktionen hinzufügen. Wählen Sie einen eindrucksvollen Seitenhintergrund und entscheiden Sie sich für ein Video, Bild oder eine Farbe. Klicken Sie auf Hinzufügen, um Textboxen, Galerien, Dia-Shows, Buttons und mehr hinzuzufügen. Füllen wir Ihre Website mit mehr Text. Wählen Sie einen schönen Streifen, um Ihr Design mit nur einem Klick zu verändern. Damit haben Sie viele Anwendungsmöglichkeiten. Fügen Sie alle Informationen hinzu, die Sie brauchen. Mit der Wix Pro Gallery können Sie Ihre Fotos in höchster Qualität online präsentieren. Passen Sie die Bilder nach Ihren Vorstellungen an. Verwenden Sie Animationen, um bestimmte Elemente in Szene zu setzen. Ihre Website ist bereits großartig und Sie können noch viel mehr mit dem Editor von Wix anstellen, zum Beispiel einen Blog starten, um Ihre Ideen zu teilen. Verkaufen Sie Ihre Produkte in einem Online-Shop, holen Sie sich ein virtuelles Schaufenster und
So is it selling in general? Because there's a huge difference between selling something you really believe in and just selling something to make a profit, you know?
Yes.
Is it the whole selling concept? Because
it is selling, ideally you want to sell something you believe in,
yeah.
But it's also the skill of selling. So it's like a car.
Yeah.
Is that a car you want to drive? You want to drive? What's your dream car?
Of course.
What's your dream car?
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini, right?
Of course.
That's your ideal car.
Yeah.
But if you learn how to drive, can you drive other car?
Yeah.
It's developing that driving skill first. So then when the Lamborghini comes, you know how to drive. But in the beginning, maybe you drive a little Honda. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it's
But you have to.
you learn how to drive, right?
Yeah.
Then when you get the Lamborghini, you're like, okay, this is more difficult to drive, but I can handle it
Yeah.
because I've already had years of driving experience.
Yeah.
So that's selling. That's how I would say that.
So that was one, and then the other one. So this is what is your advice for businessmen and entrepreneurs that face some difficulties that are completely unrelated to your skills and your experience?
Give me an example.
Example. It was really hard for me to come to Canada because literally 1 month before me coming, my mom got diagnosed cancer. So it was so hard coming, and then last summer I came back to Colombia, just the holidays, and I told my mom, you know what, if you want, I will stay for you. It doesn't matter. And she got really mad and whatever. And I mean, it's been really hard months, and that's not something related to like any skills or any, but every night I wake up like really heartbroken or whatever, and then I'm like, you know what, I have to continue. But sometimes it's harder than other times. What is your advice to overcome those kind of problems and those kind of nights?
It's those emotional or personal problems happen to all of us, including me. You would see that as you grow, this would not be the first time, it's not the last time. And things will actually get more difficult. Because the truth is, good things happen, like bad things happen to good people. So I tell all the young people, your adversity is your greatest advantage. So if you think of these experiences as a way to kind of train your emotional muscles, it's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's very unfortunate. And it happens, but what has that taught you? You tell me, what has the experience taught you?
Lots of things.
Give me an example.
It's made me closer to my mom. It's made me more resistant to some other emotions that I used to give so much importance before, and now they're just,
what you thought is very important is actually nothing compared to your mom.
Yeah.
So you're mature, your relationship with your mom is better. As unfortunate as that is, it made you a better man. If it made you a better man,
it helps.
And that would transfer to your business.
You have to get something out of everything, even if it's bad.
Yeah, and you will always get something out of it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, think about when my mom and dad got divorced. It was devastating to me. When my dad went bankrupt, wouldn't you say that's an unfortunate thing? But the question I have for you, thinking about my story, would I be where I am today if that didn't happen? So it turns out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to me, that my dad actually went bankrupt. So that it forced me to be independent. It forced me to be self-reliant. So looking back, it's a great thing. Without that, there would be no Dan Lok today. Same thing, without that, there would be no you today. And then more things would happen, and you would grow. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Make a fist. Make it strong. Make a tight fist. When you apply pressure, you're going to apply pressure slowly. You're going to do it gradually. In part of B, you try to resist. Do your best to resist.
To be honest, first time speaking like this, and I cried during the exercise. That was crazy. When you set the mind of a partner, hey, I decided that it was not about him, it was about me. And I closed my eyes too when I was brushing on his arm. I was the strongest. It was not about others, it was all about me. And when he decided that his arm just wanna stick, it took me 1 second, and then I pushed his arm back and it was over. I started crying. It was like, okay. It's always about other in my life. And I want other people to succeed, but I don't want me to succeed. And when you set his mindset with the power and HTC at the end and all that thing, I decided to do the same thing, but on my side. Closed my eyes. And it was so powerful. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
So, what are you gonna do differently?
Because I always think about others, and I will just focus on my goal from now.
What are you gonna do differently?
Myself, I will take action. I know I can succeed.
You know you can what?
I know I can succeed.
I can't hear you.
I know I can succeed.
I cannot fucking hear you.
I know I can succeed.
I cannot hear you.
I know I can succeed.
I cannot hear you.
I know I can succeed.
I cannot hear you.
I will succeed.
Round of applause. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
That, be very impatient. That's what I did. Patient with the results, but impatient with my own skills. Only when my skills are there, that I can shorten that time, right? So it's okay. It's okay. But so tell me, what are you doing with your skills? Not just working it. Tell me now, what are you doing to improve your skills?
Okay, so like I'm a photographer, a videographer.
Yeah.
I am also podcasting. So like always trying to learn, I always trying to find mentors online, like you, to help out my business, and also some other like photographers, videographers who teach. Like I'm trying to learn every day, you know. But like I will
learn
never
too much. Yeah. But so not learning, you need to go deep. So learn. If you were to pick one or two skills, what would those be?
Photography and videography.
That's it. Yeah, then focus on that first. Before you learn, I want to do podcasts, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Because you never go, it's like if you want to play sports. I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to play football, I'm going to play soccer, you're not going to get good at anything. Pick one or two, you get very, very, very good. Then if you want to, you can add on to it. But before that, this is going to take you a few years. So get busy with that first. Then the skills would come. Because as you develop your photography business, that's fine. Doors open up. Then you could do other things. You can build on those skill sets. Right? So that you need to be impatient. Make sense?
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Billionaire Mark Cuban says, only a morons get a loan to start a business. And I think there's some truth to that if you're starting a business, if you are getting a loan, chances are maybe you are not quite ready. Now, if you're a tech company, you raise capital, you have an idea for tech, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. But borrowing money from a bank to start a business, personally, I don't like the idea. I think it's a little bit risky, especially when you don't have a lot of business experience. If this is your first business that you're starting now, after you have some experience, borrowing money from the banks to buy a business, an existing business, I think as an acquisition, I think that's a very smart way to do it because you're using basically commercial debt to at a very low interest rate to grow your business, to start something. Once is a big but, once you have a solid understanding and how business works and also have a solid track record. That's my take. So in terms of your property, selling your property to put into your business, keep in mind if you're referring to this is your primary residence, that's what I'm assuming. If that's the case, I think it's also very risky, because what if that business doesn't work? Now you have a business that's losing money, plus now you're putting your place, your home at risk. Then what happens if it doesn't work? Then you'll be homeless. In my mind, this is why in my book, even Unlock It, I talked about the wealth triangle. There are 3 steps to it. The first step is what I call high income skills, a skills that pays the bills. The second step is the scalable business. That's when you actually start a business. Now, any business is scalable business. Then the third is high return investments. I think a safer, smarter, more intelligent way to go is to actually have the skills that produce income first, then take that money into starting that business versus taking your primary residence, you take a mortgage out, you borrow money, or you sell one of your investments, could be stocks, could be real estate, then to fund your business. I don't think that's a very smart way to go. Because if you need to do that, chances are there's a lot of risk within this new business that you're starting. Are there other ways that we can minimize that risk? There are many ways to do it, right? You can even shadow under someone who has a business like that just to see what that is like. Think about the odds. 95% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. It's a high percentage. So when you risk something that you already have, betting on something that chances are 9 out of 10, you will lose. That is not a very smart thing. Unless you know the industry very, very well, you have a lot of business skills, that you are a very savvy business person, then use leverage. Otherwise, I am very much against that idea. That's just my take. Some say that, hey man, you gotta take risk, you gotta mortgage your home, you gotta go all in. I did that in my early years. It is very, very difficult when you lose all that money that you didn't have, and I had to borrow money from family and friends and lost all my mom's money. It's difficult. So this is Dan Lok speaking from experience. I would not suggest you do that. Figure out smarter ways to see what can you do to use your skills, develop some skill sets to make money first, to generate that income first. If you want to get a copy of my Unlock It book, you can click on the link below or somewhere here. In the book, I talk a lot more about the wealth triangle and what are some of the high income skills that you could develop, what kind of scalable business that I would recommend. You can just get a copy, just pay shipping and handling, and I will send the book to you. So go ahead and click on the link and get a book today. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Highly successful entrepreneurs, once they get to retirement, they retire, they drop dead. Because there's no purpose. They lack that purpose. My ultimate wealth trigger, it's where I live. Right next door is the Shaw Tower. Right there is the richest man in British Columbia, in my state, called Jim Pattison. Conglomerate Jim Pattison Group. It's my wealth trigger, because from my place, right, I can see him every day. It's like so inspirational. I'm not stalking him or anything, okay? I'm not saying that. Although I do have some pictures of him working. Anyway, I do. I always say, hey Jenny, he's working again. Look at that. He's reading a newspaper. Right? I find it so inspirational. Here's what's very inspirational. He's 90 years old. Multi-billionaire, 90 years old. Here's what's inspirational. He gets the light, his office, corner office, the light turns on 6 a.m. 6 a.m. 6 a.m., he finishes usually around 6 p.m. I know, I'm not stalking, somehow I just know the pattern. Anyway, okay.
Not stalking at all. Okay, I do not have a thing. No, not at all. Okay, so 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 90 years old, 6 days a week. He's the first to go to the office before any of the executives. Executives 7, 6:30. He's there 6 a.m. because he's light. You can see him working right there. And then he finishes. Sunday, because I know he goes to church, he doesn't work. Saturday, he's in the office. I see him all the time. Not stalking all, yeah, absolutely. No. But that is a huge, inspiration, well triggered to me. 90 years old, still active, love what he does, goes to work. Think about when you are 90 years old, 6 a.m. in the morning, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. He could do anything he wants. The richest man in my province, British Columbia. You can search him, Jamie Patterson. I love that. That kicks my ass, right? And that would be my, I think it would be my prediction for you. That when you get there, you want to keep doing. You're not gonna, because you get bored. Trust me, you watch Netflix for a few, 4, 5, 6 days and doing nothing, sitting on the beach, doing, it doesn't fulfill you at all. You feel oh, it's so boring. It is very, very boring. All those things are only good when it's micro, right? Yeah, go on that vacation. Go there to Mexico. Little getaway. That's cool. Yeah, you're sitting on the sun on Mexico, looking at the beach for 30 days. My God, right? My goodness. I think it's one of the most wonderful ironies in life. You can't find happiness trying to be happy. Because it's kind of there. We don't create abundance, we create limitations. And you'll realize when you get there, happiness is actually a very low level of emotions. Happiness is what people search for, is kind of here. What you want is actually meaning. Happiness is here. We need to get here first. Meaning. That's what you want to get to. When you have all that access and all those things, this is taken care of, you're having fun, but you need this. Because we want to know that we mean something, right? I know it sounds so cliche that, I wanted the world to be a better place. But it is that cliche. And I think that's how we are wired. When we did the $1 billion exercise, you think about almost all of us. After you take care of all the crazy things, you say, but majority, I'm gonna use it for good. Yeah. I rarely see someone, when I ask them to do that, they say, no, I'm gonna keep the $1 billion all to myself. I'm gonna own 100 Lamborghinis. I'm gonna have 20 homes. I don't hear that. So yeah, I'm gonna have my home, I'm gonna take care of my family, I'm gonna do a couple of things. After that, it's all, how do I use it? How do I make sure that it keeps growing and helping more people? That's what most people focus on. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Together.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was great, informative knowledge. We are coming up with quite of an idea, and we are telling we are also applied for the Juniors Dragon Den coming up this week.
I like it.
So yeah, I like the way you explain things to us. It is definitely going to help us shape our business ahead. So that's one good thing. And one thing
I like it. Pitching me is good. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Slow down though.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yes.
And just one thing I wanted to ask. This is what we deep down feel, that there's an intuition, there's an inner voice which says, go for it. Go for it. And that's what, I'm graduated, I'm not going here and there, I'm just looking for that kind of job, and we are working on the idea together. So what do you think, as the secret says as well, that you should know it first that you're gonna make it? What do you think that intuition helps you to actually achieve it, to make you go there, that you believe yourself more?
It's not so much believe in yourself, because in the beginning, because it's new, you guys still young, right?
Yeah.
Your intuition may be wrong. Your intuition may be just their assumptions.
Yeah, totally. I believe in that.
Right? It's their assumptions. Totally. You think, it feels right. It's no different than the driving example I gave. Yeah. So it feels right. It feels right to blindfold myself.
Totally.
So this is the time where it helps when you have someone with experience kind of challenge your assumption. You know, I think this is a great idea. Well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? What about this? What about that? Actually, I never thought about that. Why don't you think about it a little bit, right? Exactly. So from there, it's like you need to challenge your own assumptions to see, to test kind of your theory a bit. Not to destroy the idea, but to refine the idea. So maybe you think I want to do this, but actually I could put this into this market. Maybe it's the same thing, but it's the wrong market. Maybe it's the wrong fit. Maybe it's the wrong price. Maybe it's the wrong offer. You don't know yet. But someone with experience could tell you a lot. Validation.
That's what we are.
And that already saves you how many years of, right? Because you thought, oh, I'm going to put in 3 years of this, and then maybe I would tell you, I have a friend who did that 5 years ago, disaster, don't do it. Thank God, right? It's like that.
Nobody,
It's that. Because you don't know what you don't know. You just don't know. And the world is so much bigger out there. There's so many levels out there. Yeah, you don't know. Like, you have no idea how many entrepreneurs come to me, they pitch me an idea, they say this is revolutionary. No one has ever done this before. I said, really? Then I show them 10 people that are already doing it. Then they're like, what? Oh, but I'm different. I said, trust me, you're not different.
Not different, exactly.
It's not different. Yeah. So there's nothing new. Rarely I see anything that's new. Rarely. Yeah. Make sense? Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Can we
sure.
Do you mind video a picture?
Yeah, sure.
Pankaj.
Yes. Have you heard of the saying that money doesn't buy happiness? And I say neither does poverty. You see, a lot of people, they like to make that connection. Well, you know, I would rather be happy than rich or wealthy. Or, yeah, money is not that important. Or that it's okay, like if we set our goals too high, then we will get disappointed. I don't know about other rich people, but I have been rich and I've been poor, and I could tell you, rich is a lot better. Better to film my video in a luxury SUV than on a bicycle. Boss on a bicycle would not look so good. So what I'm talking about is, it has nothing to do with that. If you are a happy person, money will make you happier. It would give you more tools and more currency to do things to make an impact. If you are a sad, depressed, miserable person, more money will make you depressed, sad, and more miserable. It has nothing to do with each other. People like to use that as an excuse to justify their failures, to justify their lack of ambition. And they say, well, you know what, I just want to be okay, I don't need a lot of money, I don't need to be wealthy, and I just want to be happy. What I say is, why not both? Why can't you have both? Why can you be happy and wealthy at the same time? Why can you be happy, wealthy, and healthy at the same time? Why do we have to choose? Why can you not have it all? It's like they're saying that, well, you can have the cake and eat it too. Then my question is, what is the damn point of having that cake? You want to have the cake and you want to eat it too. That's what it is. So we have a lot of these misconceptions and lies and myths that people believe in that are not true. And very often, they are simply excuses to justify. That's all it is. They are justifications. And I could tell you that most people who are successful financially, most, not all, most are pretty happy. Most are pretty happy because they don't have to worry a lot of things that most people are worried about. You don't have to worry about the bills. You don't have to worry about your car payment. You don't have to worry about your house payment. So a lot of the struggles and the hassles that a lot of people have, a lot of the simple things that people are worried about, when you are successful, when you have more financial means, you don't have to worry about those things. You could focus on other things that may be more important. You could spend more time with your family. You could help the people that they need help with. So don't buy into the whole bullshit of, oh, are people happy already? No, do both. Be wealthy as well as be happy, right? Don't buy into all that. By the way, if this is the first time you're watching my video, make sure you click on the link and hit the subscribe button. This is what I do from time to time. If you have any other questions, make sure you comment below and let me know, and I will take the time, if they're good questions, to answer them for you from time to time as well. Until then, I'll see you next time.
Now, one of the things that almost all millionaires have in common is they have exceptional, I mean exceptional communication skills, because they recognize that communication equals wealth. Now, it could be communication skill in terms of public speaking, one-to-many, or communication skill like this, one-on-one, sales, closing, negotiation. It could be communication in terms of in print. I call that copywriting. They have exceptional communication skills. They know how to get their ideas across. They know how to persuade influence and convince someone to take action, because that's the only way you can create leverage in life. And that's the very first step to create wealth.
Over the years, I have met a lot of people. The ones who are unethical, most of the time, not all the time, but the ones that are unethical, the ones that actually rip people off, they are the ones who don't have a lot of money. The ones who are actually generous, the one who have integrity, the one who deliver on what they promise, guess who they are? They are the wealthy people. That's how they get wealthy. Money earned is always a byproduct of value creation. It's very, very simple. The more value you deliver to people, the more money you're gonna make.
Communication equals wealth. Now, some people, they might say, well, but Dan, if I learn how to persuade, if I learn to influence other people, is that unethical? Does that mean manipulation? But if you use it with good intention, that's awesome. I call that influence with integrity. And if you but use it for evil purposes, that will work too. However, that's manipulation. The better communicator you are, the wealthier you will become. Marketing is communication. Selling is communication. Leadership is communication. It's all communication. So if you're struggling, if you can't, oh, how come my employees don't listen to me? Well, you're a lousy communicator. I haven't met a great entrepreneur who's not a great communicator. Financial confidence, that's the truth. What does it mean? Dan, so what's the difference? Financial confidence versus financial freedom. Financial confidence is income on demand. That knowing you have the confidence, the ability, you can go anywhere, anything, any industry, and you can make money. I don't need a government, I don't need a company, I don't need an industry, I don't even need my fucking business to provide. I could provide. I make me money. Give me nothing. Nothing. Take away everything I have, doesn't matter. Any business I could go in, I could sell. I could generate revenue. Doesn't matter what it is. I can be selling an app, I can be selling a service, I can be selling a product, doesn't matter. So develop that. That's the truth. Financial confidence. Act as if you're already wealthy, and then you'll surely become wealthy. Act as if you have unshakable confidence, then people will surely have confidence in you. Act as if you're a leader and people will follow you. And act as if you're already a tremendous success, and then you will become successful.
I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Hello, my name is Aliona. And
Hi, Leona.
Hi, everyone. And hi, Sifu. So my question is, when you were talking about all this metaphor, the aha moment what I had very deep is, how can we get rid of pennies in the world and make sure that they're not made anymore?
You can't.
I'll think how I can do it.
You can't. No.
Well, how you would get rid of them in your life so they don't come in your life anymore?
Knowing that they will come. The minute you think they won't come, that's when you lose the battle.
It's knowing that they're always there and knowing that someone is stacking penny in front of you all the time. Then it's our job. Example, with an intense experience like CIB, we move stacks of penny like that. HTC, stacks of penny. You can think every week it's like 1 penny, right? Everything that helps you stay plugged in, hold yourself accountable, seeing other role model, believe, relearning, it's constantly. I came back from the castle, right? Just came back from the castle seminar. In a few months, December, I'm going back to the castle again. Why? I need to
remove stacks of pennies.
see who has pennies too. Because there's certain things in front of me that I don't see. Sometimes it could be a story. Sometimes it could be a quote. Sometimes it could be a speech. Sometimes it could be a lesson. Only when you know and you could remove pennies for yourself, then yes, maybe you could help others. Only if they deserve it. A round of applause, a round of applause.
Thank you.
Seafood doesn't save people. I don't save people. I only help people who swim towards me. And they better be swimming pretty fucking fast. Because I don't wait. Life is too short. Life is too short. There are enough people on the planet who want, need, get it, who deserve my help. I can spend my lifetime helping those. I don't give a shit about people who don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about people who don't give a shit about themselves, who don't give a shit about me, who don't give a shit about us. Life is too short. Why spend my time, my life convincing these people? I don't need anything from them. They don't want my help, they don't want my help. And not saying, oh yeah, I need your help. It's not that. Actions. Because desperate people, write it down, desperate people do desperate things. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Life is too short. The great thing about planet is there are a lot of people. Stop spending time giving a shit to people who don't give a shit. They don't give a... If you care about their dreams more than they care about their dreams, something is wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. And you know what? These people, they don't appreciate it anyway. It's a waste of fucking time. You get pissed off because you are not happy you can't help them. They get pissed off because you're trying to help them and they don't want any help. They like things the way things are. That's them. That's their life to live, not my life. It's very black and white for me. It's very black and white for me. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
That's right. So now, what are these, Shannon? Chips. Now, these are different kinds of chips. Shannon, what I want you to do, I want you to think of these chips, I'll hold you on these chips. I want you to think of them as your investment capital, okay? Now, each chip could represent, doesn't matter how much you have, it could represent $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, doesn't matter. These are the chips that you have. So these are your investment capital. What are they? Investment capital. These are your investment capital. What are they? Okay. So it's quite a bit of money. So how much you want each one to be?
Any amount?
Doesn't matter.
Let's make it 10,000.
10,000 each. Ooh, a lot of money here, right? All right. So how much would you say we have here? Around
10. I'm gonna guess maybe 240,000.
yeah,
Like
200 somewhat K, right? Pretty sizable investment, right? Okay.
So Shannon, we are going to play the game. We'll play the game. So here's a deck of cards. What is this? What is this? This represents the market. What does it represent?
Market.
The market. So, Shannon, I'm going to let you win some money. See if we can get some. See if we can multiply the investment capital. That's what we.
I'm already ready to invest. I already know my first case.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here there are a couple of rules. So Shannon, listen closely.
Okay.
You could invest 1 chip at a time. You can invest 2 chips at a time, or all the chips. It's off to you. There's no limit. Okay. Also, just like how many have seen a show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? How many have seen that show before? Right? You can also ask for friends. You can also ask your friend, right? Here, right? You can ask your friend here, ever, right?
I just met him, but I think we're going to be good friends.
That's right. You can ask them for their advice. Because you see, normal sometimes when we invest, hey, we ask, hey, how are friends? Like, what do you think of this investment? I'm going to buy this piece of property. What do you think? Yes? So you could do that. You can ask anybody. Okay? So here's how it's going to work. So this deck of cards. Now, a deck of cards, we have how many cards? 52. Now, what kind we have A's, we have 2, we have what? 3, yes, hearts. So here's how it's going to work. In a moment, you're going to pick a number of these cards. Each time is 1 bet. It's 1 investment, right? You can bet on how many chips you want each time. If we draw from 1 to 10, you lose your investment capital.
Oh, man.
Any one from 1 to 10.
I'm drawing the cards.
That's right. Okay.
I'm basically going through this question.
Okay. Now here's the thing. If you draw a jack, you're going to double your money.
Oh, man, I love jacks.
Okay. If you draw a queen, you're going to triple your money.
What about a king?
You're going to 4 times your money. Yes. Okay, so 1 to 10, how much money? 0. How much money? 0. Okay, if it's a jack, how much money? Double. Ooh, who likes to double their money, right? If it's a queen, triple. Oh, but if it's a king, all right. Now you guys want to chip in, right? You guys are like, hey, let me join this. Ooh, this is exciting. This is Vegas time. All right? So let's shuffle the card. Just to be fair. Shuffle the card.
I am with the king of high ticket.
King of high ticket.
I want to pull.
All right. So here we go. So the first bet, how much you want to bet, Shannon?
And I don't know what I'm betting for. I like the number 3.
Number 3. All right. So 3 chips. So $30,000, right? Represents 30,000. Ooh, I'm sweating too. I'm the house, but I'm kind of excited. But I am not the house. I'm simply the what? The market. I'm simply the market. So let's draw the first card. Okay. All right. Shannon, any one of these. Let's do it slowly. Let's build up some excitement. Yes. How many of you get nervous when you invest? Your heart is pounding, right? Even though this is not real money. Notice the emotions are going through, right? All right, here you go. Pick any one of these. Okay, first one. And you sure about this one?
Yes.
You sure about this one? Do you need to ask any friends?
No, because it's going to create doubt.
Doubts, okay. First one. Okay? First one. And we want Shannon to win, yes?
We do, right?
Okay, yes. So let's review that slowly. Right there, the first card, please. What is it? And then yell it out loud what the card is, okay?
Oh, shit! It's a 5.
It is a 5. It is a 5. It is a 5. It is a 5. All right, 30,000.
Painful.
Put it back in your pocket.
I get 3 draws?
And as many draws as you want. Next one. How much you want to bet? Do you want to double down? I don't know. Because isn't it the Vegas rule? You lose the first bet, you kind of double down? Is what it is? Do 3 again? All right, 3 again. 3, how many? 3 again. Here we go. All right. And pick any of these cards. I think, we need to do you blow it, right? Is that what it is? Like, let's blow it together. Okay, 1, 2, and... Okay, here we go.
A 10.
A 10. Oh, getting close. Getting close.
All right.
Getting close. 5, 10. Next one, maybe a J. Okay.
Trust has been... You still get my money?
That's right. 1 to 10, you lose your investment capital.
Just when trust is being reestablished.
Now, but you know how it is, like, when you lose 3, 4 times in a row, the next one is, the 10 is, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
This is, now, you lost this much already.
Okay, when I win the queen, do I get all that back?
No.
You said 4 times.
No, it's 4 times what you bet.
Oh, man.
4 times what you bet.
Excited.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Okay.
Well, no, so you lost quite a bit. If you want to get that back, you got to kind of bet.
good.
Okay,
I'm
good. All right.
I have a strategy now.
Okay, yes.
More losses,
You got strategy. She's got it. What? Strategy. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Bet how much?
This can happen all day.
All right. One. No, if you bet one, if this turns out to be a king, you would.
I'll take that chance.
You take that chance.
Yeah,
So
I'm
one.
reestablishing my self-trust here.
One.
That's
Okay.
deep
You
going
sure?
on. Yeah.
You don't want to ask a friend anything like that.
What to ask? Friend, you're a good investor. I saw your hand raised up. What do you think?
One.
More or really?
Three.
Friend, I'm gonna trust you.
Three. What about this friend? What do you think? Three.
I'm gonna go 3 because that's already stretching me.
Three. What do you guys think?
My chest is starting to.
Well, it's not your money. So you guys are good as a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like buying a stock. Oh, I don't give a shit, right? All right, here we go. $30,000. Here we go. I think I have a good feeling about this one. I have a good feeling about this one. At least got to be a J or K or something like that.
No, it's not a winner.
It's a 2. Okay, now we can do this all. Let's one last chance. One last chance.
That means I got to bet all my money?
Maybe last chance. If you want to, now so far you're like maybe compared to that you've lost maybe 40% of your investment capital, 30-40%. So Shannon started off with 100% investment capital in a few 4 investments we've done. We've lost 30-40%. Is this the real world? Hello? Could you make a trade? Could you make an investment, lose 40% of your money relatively quickly? Sometimes 100% of your money. So now this is her chance. This is her life savings here, right? Almost $200,000. This is the last bet, right? So she needs to draw a pretty good card just to get back to break even, right? Get back to 0, not even a return. So Shannon, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna let's play the millionaire game. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Take a poll from the audience.
Take a poll. Yes.
I think I should just bet it all. Raise your hand. Bet it all. So Shannon, in the beginning, why do we want to invest? To make a profit, get a return. So now we're at 30-40% lost. This is the last chance. You're gonna bet. So even though, let's say we draw a jack, you kind of get back, depends on how much you invest, you might get back most of the money, not even up ahead. But if it's a queen, then you're in pretty good shape, right? Then maybe you say, hey, you know what, I draw a queen, that's it, I'm not gonna bet anymore, right? Forget about it. If you're king, then you're like, I'm going on vacation. So Shannon, how much you're betting? Betting this.
Everything. How many of these do we have? Okay, so it's 1, let's count them. Let's count them.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000.
$80,000 of investment too. So it's got 20,000 left. Okay. Emergency fund, get home fund.
I need a massage.
It's the stress from losing the money. Probably some of that goes to alcohol. I don't know. Right? You know why we have so many bars in Vegas? You win money, you celebrate, you have 1 drink. You lose money, you're depressed, you get 2 drinks. They make money either way. This is why. All right? That's called business. What is it called? Business. All right. So, Shannon, you ready? Okay, here we go. Okay. Ooh, I feel nervous.
I know, me too.
I feel nervous. So far, who is winning within the game? The market is winning. Do the market win most of the time? Hello? Yes. Why do the markets win most of the time? She's losing, so it's a zero-sum game. So in the market, marketplace, someone wins and someone loses. Is that how it works? Is that how it works?
I'm not sure.
Would that be an interesting question to explore these 2 days? Okay, so the market is closed now. So please open the card, Shannon. 1, 2, and 3.
Well, here's the good news. I do like the number 7. It's just not for me.
Number 7. What's the number? 7. Number 7. So, Shannon, how much we started off with?
240.
240.
20 left.
We got 20 left. So we basically, within a matter of 10, 12 minutes, we've lost $200,000. That kind of sucks, eh?
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel, Shannon?
Terrible. Terrible. But you were pretty excited a few months ago. Pissed, right? Is that normal? Do most investors make money or lose money? Most of them lose money. So Shannon bet multiple times, different amount. Right? Multiple amount, but she lost the money. Shiny card, exciting. Oh. Like in Asian culture, belief like gold it's fortune, right? It's good luck, it's prosperity. Not so good so far. But what if Shannon, if this is the market, I'm the messenger for the market. If the market wins most of the time, and she bets, and based on trust on the market, not on me, because I'm just neutral, I'm just the messenger, right? On the market. Now, did I tell you how much to bet? No, it's your decision, multiple times, right? But what if, Shannon, I give you one piece of information, just one small piece of information, okay? That all the jack, queen, and king were in my pockets the whole time. Oh, but then that's cheating! Not that much different when a stockbroker tells you, hey, the stock is going to go up. Not that much different. And real estate agent tells you, this is a good piece of property, it's going to appreciate, it's in a good location. Not much different when your friend tells you, hey, invest in my thing, it's going to make money. I promise you, we've known each other for 10 years. Is that much different? So is it my job, or is it Shannon's job to investigate before you invest? Did I say, Shannon, you cannot check my card? Would it be a simple idea? Hey, I just want to check the card. Maybe after 2 bets, I want to check the card just to see how it goes. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Because the 2 5s, you say, I get a little bit suspicious. The 2 5s, what's going on? Right? Maybe I look at the card, the card seems a little thin. It doesn't look like a 52 cards. Right? Maybe gut instinct tells you, it still looks a little thin, maybe, but just like the stockbroker tells you, just trust me on this. It's okay. Oh yeah, the market dipped a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's going to bounce back. Haven't heard that before. It's going to bounce back. 2 years later, oh, it's going to bounce back. That's how most people approach investing. They think it's a word of luck, a game of luck, a game of gambling. Versus, now Shannon, if you would have done that, let's say the 3rd bet, and you say, I'm gonna check the cards. And you check the cards, you say, what the fuck? I see no jack, I see no queen, I see no king. Would you still continue to bet? No, absolutely not. Doesn't matter what I say, oh, it's gonna be, no, it doesn't matter what I say, something is missing, yes? You know you're not gonna win. Write this down. Lesson in the morning. Investigate before you invest. Don't listen to your stockbroker. Don't listen to nobody, including me. Because no one cares your money more than you do. Yes? No one cares your money more than you do. It's called due diligence. Just simply check the cards. So from now on, any investment, you're gonna do due diligence, investigate, right? This is a good reminder. One more applause for Shannon.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Very, very good.
What is my take on the concept of crowdfunding? And is it a good idea to keep a business active? Well, I do like crowdfunding. I think crowdfunding with technology, it is a great invention for any entrepreneurs who maybe have an idea, but they're not so sure if the marketplace is actually receptive for this idea. Is there actually a demand? Is there a need for what you want to sell? It is a very cost-effective way to find out, right? You create a little nice description, maybe you film a little video, and you can put out in the marketplace. You can even run some traffic to it and see if there's actually people want to buy your product. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you come up with an idea, you talk to your mom, you talk to your dad, you talk to your friends. Hey, what do you think of like me selling this thing? I've got an idea for this widget. And they say, yeah, that's good, son. I think it's a great idea. I'm supportive. Your friends like, yeah, they're saying that, yeah, I think it's a great idea. You should go for it, right? They always give you this kind of false hope that you think, oh yeah, I think all my friends think it's a good idea. When you actually sink a whole bunch of money into it, and they say, okay, now I finally have that widget. Now you spend a lot of money, a lot of time and effort, and say, hey, do you want some? Oh, no. What do you mean you don't want some? I thought you said it's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. And then they say they're trying to be polite, right? They don't tell you that actually they think it's the dumbest idea ever, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. But crowdfunding, you could go to Indiegogo, GoFundMe, or Kickstarter. You could go there and just create a campaign and see if there's a need for an idea, a little short film you want to do, a little product you want to do, a little tech that you want to do. It's awesome, right? If there is a need now, it gives you that much more confidence because people vote with their wallets. Now they're actually putting some money into it. And you could get started with that. I think it's a great idea. Now, to do crowdfunding to keep your business going, now that is a dumb idea. I'm not your friend, so I'm gonna tell you straight to your face, it's a dumb idea. Because if you need that to keep your business going, your business is not working. It means that you have not cracked the code of how do you actually get customers into the door. How to attract those first group of customers. This is the only reason why you need to do crowdfunding, which I believe the number one goal for any business, the very first goal that you need to have is asking yourself, how do you get that first profitable sale? How to attract the first group of customers profitably? Guess what? It means sales. Sales equals income. You need to be able to sell your products and services. You need to be able to sell those first group of customers first. If you have not cracked that code, if you have not found a cost-effective way to do that, you don't have a business. You have an expensive hobby. So that to me is not the way to go. It means that you're a lousy entrepreneur. You don't know what you're doing. You might have a cool product, who cares? If you cannot get that product in front of the people who are willing and able to buy it, all this is a pipe dream. So crowdfunding, I like the idea, but as an idea to keep a business going, I think that's a very stupid idea. That's my take. Comment below, share with me what's your take if you have done any crowdfunding. What's been your experience? I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
Here's how most entrepreneurs get customers. Most entrepreneurs, how many of you fish? Anyone fishes here? Likes fishing? Great. Most entrepreneurs, here's what they do. They fish, they try to get customers, they try to get leads, they go online, they go to networking, or they go to an event like this, try to get deals, trying to get opportunities. But sometimes they're fishing in the wrong lake. They're fishing in the wrong spot. The people they're looking for, the customers, the clients they're looking for, they're actually not in that lake. They're fishing in the wrong place. They're selling to the wrong market. Is that possible? Yes or no? It's possible. Or here's how they fish most of the time. They fish with a spear. So they look and try to catch one. Oh, damn. And they try to catch one. Oh. Spend a lot of time hunting, looking, right? Or sometimes, a little bit better, they try to fish with like a one fish hook. With no bait though. Because whatever they're selling is not very compelling. So, you know what happens when you fish with no bait, right? It's not a fishing game, it's a sitting game. You sit for a long time, right? If you're a little bit better, you get a little bait, what the fish likes to eat, and then you catch a fish, right? That's how most people do it. Would you like to know how I do it? Yes. Here's how I fish. Remember this. I don't fish with a spear. I want multiple fishing rods on a boat, and I want hundreds of these boats. I don't want to fish one at a time because it's not efficient. It is too slow. Write it down. Money loves speed. It's easier to grow faster than to grow slower. It's easier to scale faster than to scale slow. I know it doesn't make sense. I know it's counterintuitive. I'll prove to you. Having followers on social media is absolutely meaningless if you can't convert that attention into results or revenue. Wouldn't it be nice if we can just go to the bank and we say, I don't have a check today to deposit, but man, I got a lot of followers on Instagram. Can I deposit some likes? Wouldn't that be nice? Right? If that's the case, damn. If just I get $1 for every like, it would be great. But is that how it works? No. Is it possible that you have people who have huge following on social media, yet they don't generate a lot of revenue? Yes or no? It's possible. Maybe it's not the right audience. Maybe the way they are approaching the audience is not correct. Say it with me, please, as loud as you could. Fame without fortune leads to frustration. One more time. Fame without fortune leads to frustration. Being famous without being wealthy is fucking dumb. It is dumb. I do not use social media for pleasure. I use social media for purpose and profit, to impact millions and to build my company. It's the only sane reason to be on it. You shouldn't, and I shouldn't, go to social media and seek validation, seek approval. Wouldn't it be nice, we get in the morning, we have to like ourselves first. We look in the mirror before people like us, yes? Yeah. We gotta like ourselves first. We get an extra like, that's good, that's icing on the cake, that's nice. But that's not why we do it. The only reason to do it is for purpose and profit, income and impact. That's what I believe in. So I want you to think the first part of the formula, which stands for SCS. What does it stand for? SC stands for social capital. Not social media, social capital. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference. Having a lot of followings, a lot of likes, and all these stuff, engagements, doesn't mean anything. They're just social media followings. What we want as an entrepreneur, as founders, we want social capital. So would you like me to show you the difference? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So let me demonstrate. What is this? Now I'm going to do something very risky in a moment here. Do not attempt this at home. Okay? It's been trained by a professional for many, many years. Do not attempt this at home. In a moment, I'm going to turn on my phone, and then I'm going to do a selfie video. Now when I do, I'm going to turn around, and I want you to make some noise. Could you do that? Yes. Okay? And I'm just going to do a 30-second video, and this video will be posted on Instagram. And I'm going to do an offer right in front of you. It's very risky. It's very risky. Are you ready? Yes. Am I ready? Yes, I think so. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, this is Dan Locke coming from Sydney, Australia. I'm speaking at StarCon, the largest business conference in Australia. Check this out. Wow, see the energy? I want to share something with you. Imagine having the ability to walk up stage and present with confidence. And imagine having the skill to close anyone, anytime for any products or services. You see, the closers, the students are trained from all over the world. We have produced over $34.2 billion for companies and brands around the world because of these skill sets. And I want to share something very special with you. I put together everything that I have taught them in a simple book called the High Ticket Closing Black Book. And students, they pay anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 to learn the same secrets in this black book, I want you to have a copy. Swipe up and get your copy today. Now, it is not going to be cheap. It is not a $20 book, but it's going to be a lot cheaper than staying where you are and not knowing how to sell. So go ahead and swipe up. And with that said, I got to go back to my keynote. After the conference, I'm going to post this on Instagram. That 45-second video, on average, would generate about $3,000, $5,000, sometimes in a good day, $10,000 for me. That's social capital. It allows you to generate money on demand out of thin air. Out of thin air. And I just did that in front of you. And thank you for your help. No royalties though. Thank you very much.
Know that you can have those money conversations with your spouse, right? Working together, nothing grows a couple better than like, it is what it is. You grow, you talk about it, and every step, and you're supportive. I've seen super ambitious. It could be a man, could be a woman, like this, but the spouse has got so much of that negative programming and like that poverty consciousness with money. You will not believe the fight. Like it's one step forward and two steps backwards. Because every single thing you try to do, they don't understand. So suddenly you're like, oh, I want to get nicer shoes. I want to buy high quality. Are you cheating on me? Right? Suddenly you're like, no, I want to go to a seminar. Why do you want to go to a seminar? You can't just read a book, right? And then suddenly, when you're learning a skill, our 6-hour class, you're crazy, right? How come you don't hang out with our broke friends anymore? Because they're broke! And then suddenly you do this to the broke friends, right? Then they really hate you, because then you have no friends left, right? You piss off everybody. So all these things, it's tough. It's very tough. So if you're single, make sure you have that conversation early up front. In the beginning, the lust takes over. I get it. We're all humans, right? You better very early on in the dating stage, have the conversation with your girlfriend. Honey, I'm going to become wealthy. It's my number one focus. Are you on board? Are you not on board? If she thinks you're fucking crazy, it's not going to work. You gotta find a new one. You gotta have someone and say, good, I'll support you on that. So set expectations. This is who I am. This is what I'm striving for. I'm not a typical boyfriend. I'm very busy. I'm working on my business. If you expect certain things you expect from most boyfriends, I'm not your guy. Early up front. Set expectations, right? Closing is called setting the agenda. You gotta set the agenda first. Here's how this call is gonna go. Here's how this relationship is gonna go. Jenny, remember? Can you go to the mic? Well, applause! For Jenny, amazing, always amazing. Really, I'm very, very grateful. So we had that conversation early on, right?
Yes.
And I remember you thought I was a little bit weird.
Yeah, he was saying, I'm gonna become a millionaire. I'm gonna get a $3 million house or a penthouse. And then we're like, dude, we're just dating a couple of days. Why are you telling this? And I even had a conversation with his mom. And we're like, I think 3 million is a bit too much. How about just $1 million? But then he's like, yeah, whatever you guys talk about, I already made my decision. Yeah.
Just like, I don't care what you say, just come along for the ride. Don't get in my way. Now, however, I did tell her, like, some things I am not like a typical boyfriend, like I'm busy, right? And I said to her, and I asked about her goals, right?
I asked about Jenny's goal. What are some of the goals you have on your list? And she told me a number of things. I think I remember one of them was
I want to go to Disney.
Go to Disney.
Yeah.
Go to.
I was 20 something.
Yeah, Japan. She's 5 years younger than me. 5 years. Yeah. And then go to Japan, right? Remember Japan?
I think so.
What else?
I want to have my own closet.
Closet, yes, closet. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Not a ton, like 4 or 5 things.
But he's very smart because whenever
Of course I'm very smart, yes.
Whenever he
To have
helped
fun
me
you.
to to achieve certain goal, he would say, "Baby, remember you told me you want to go to Disney? Here we are." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, maybe you help me achieve my goals." But I didn't think it, right? So I was like, but now he's trying to do this brainwash thing to me, and then subconsciously, and then
Brainwash thing. What's the brainwash thing? No,
yeah.
but really, I basically told her that, hey, Jenny, what are the goals that you have? I said, I'm not a typical boyfriend, but I said, the line I said is, but I'm gonna help you achieve all your goals. That's my promise to you. And that was it. I hit it one by one, and that was it. Right? That's with our relationship. And now we set new goals as a couple. What we're gonna hit. Now she knows my personality. She kind of challenges my personality, right?
Yeah.
So when I say I want to do something, she's very supportive, but she knows my personality. She's like, we'll see what happens. You know.
I was like, show me.
Yeah, show me.
Well, the iPhone selfie video continues. My wife Jenny and I, we have been self-quarantined for almost 2 weeks now. Now, during these 2 weeks, we have been working hard with the team, and I've been communicating with my team through Zoom and working and continue to build our organization. Now is the time to expand. Now is not the time to contract, even though you are working remotely, even though we are working remotely. Besides working, there's one thing that I've been doing as well, and that is to catch up on some of the reading that I've always wanted to do. And there's one book that I've been reading recently called Traffic Secrets by my good friend Russell Brunson. Now, Russell and I, we go way back. Now, you may or may not know this, but I'm actually the winner of the Commerce Club X award. Out of the 100,000 users worldwide in ClickFunnels, only 47 entrepreneurs ever won that award. Now, what does it take to win that award? To qualify for the award, it means that you have to generate at least $10 million from one single funnel. And we've been able to do that with just one funnel from one of the companies. So today I want to share with you, because of the book that inspires me, to kind of share with you a little bit of my strategies. What are some of the things that we have been able to do to accomplish that, to win that Commerce Club X award? I'm not saying that you're going to win the award, but I'm going to break it down for you, the 4-step process, traffic strategies that we have implemented to get some pretty amazing results. Are you interested? Comment below. So, step number 1, you want to solidify your offer with paid traffic. You see, when it comes to generating revenue online or scaling your business on the internet, there are only 2 things you need to pay attention to. Number 1 is your traffic, and then it's your conversion, which is your funnel, your sales process, everything that you do, your offer, your pricing. So you have your traffic, and then you have your conversion. Well, it's no good to just try to drive traffic to your website if your offer doesn't convert. Attention, traffic, eyeballs don't pay bills. You need to be able to have an offer that converts. So how do you solidify your offer first? You want to have something that actually works. Then you can run some paid traffic. Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Facebook, Google, depends on who you're targeting to. And you want to run some traffic to that offer to make sure that it actually sells, to make sure it converts visitors that's coming in to buyers. That's the very first step. You need to be able to do that. Even testing with a little bit of money. You need a little bit of money to start off with, right? Once you have solidified your offer, then step number 2, you want to leverage your affiliate partner. Now in Traffic Secrets, Russell talks about it, which is something that I do as well. It's called the Dream 100 concept. What does that mean? It means that you want to identify and find 100 dream partners. Those who already have the traffic. They could be an influencer.
They could be a blogger. They could be a YouTuber. Someone who already has attention in the marketplace. Someone who is already talking to your ideal customers. What blogs do they read? Where do they hang out? What videos do they watch? They're already paying attention to these influencers. Then the Dream 100 concept is simply you approach them and you say, hey, you know what? I've got a proven offer here, right? I am willing to pay you an affiliate commission. I'm willing to pay you a certain percentage for every single sale that you make. So you leverage their existing traffic because that's the fastest way to do it, right? You're essentially borrowing that traffic from them. You say, hey, you've got the audience, you've got the attention, I've got a proven offer. Can we work something together? It's that simple. Once you could do that, if your offer converts and your affiliate partners, your Dream 100, they're making money, they will be more than happy to continue to promote. Now you're earning more profits, you're earning more money. And step number 3, what you want to do now is then focusing on your organic traffic. Because one of the questions that I get also from my fans is, hey Dan, I don't have a lot of money to start off with, right? I don't have a budget. How do I scale my revenue? How do I scale my offer? Well, if you cannot invest money, you need to invest time. You need to invest effort. Organic traffic means that writing a blog, publishing on your own blog, writing a lot of articles. Maybe it is making YouTube videos. Maybe it's posting on Quora or commenting on Quora, right? Maybe it is going on different people's podcasts to drive attention to your offer. Whatever you could do to get more eyeballs, to get more attention to your offer, drive traffic back to your website. It doesn't cost money, but it does take time. And you want to do both simultaneously. You're testing paid traffic, you're doing that, you continually to do that, right? You're leveraging your Dream 100 partners, affiliate partners, and at the same time, you're creating organic traffic. You're building up the organic traffic. This is a long game. Now, this takes time, this takes consistency, and consistency trumps intensity. No good to just upload, hey, I'm gonna upload 10 videos. No, you need continually to upload videos. No good to just write 10 articles and you stop. No, you need to continually write new articles and optimize it for the search engines. So both. And number 4, the earnings that you generate from paid, from affiliate partners. You want to reinvest their dollars, those profits, back into scaling your offer with cold traffic through Facebook. There's almost an infinite amount of traffic you can buy from Facebook and Google, but it costs dollars. So you want to continue to take that profits and that earnings, reinvest back into your business to drive more traffic. Let me give you an example. Let's say that your offer, what you're selling is $500. And let's say you're running ads on Facebook. And let's say it costs you $100. You've spent $100 and it got you 100 clicks. So about $1 per click. And you got one sale out of that. What does that mean, right? You have to know your cost per sale number. So in this case, your cost per sale is how much? $100. So you spend $100, you make $500. So you're getting a 1 to 5 return. Now it depends on the cost of goods sold, depends on how much it costs you to actually manufacture and create that product or that service or that program. So you're spending $1, you're getting $5 back. Now you have a scalable model. Now the question is, how much are you willing to spend to get those customers? You spend $1, you get $5 back. You spend 100, you make 500. You spend 1,000, you make 5,000. You just continue to scale. And that's how you grow to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of dollars. I know it sounds so simple. Of course, there are a lot of details in there. How do you tweak your offer? Like a lot of technical details, but those are actually the steps. Solidify your offer, leverage your Dream 100, right? Continue to build your organic traffic, creating content. And number 4 is to scale through cold traffic. That's it. And those are just some of the things that you could do. Now, in the book, Traffic Secrets, Russell actually talks about 20 traffic secrets that you could implement today in your business to get more traffic to your business and to your offer fast. If you want a free copy of this book, I'm gonna put a link somewhere here or here so you could get your copy for free. So go ahead and do that. I recommend the other books as well. In fact, I've got this version. I've also ordered the box set myself. This is what I'm reading during these yourself isolated time. So get your copy today.
That's a very good question. How do you find that right product market fit? Especially maybe this is your first couple businesses that you're just getting started. Now, the way I like to do it, not the way that most people like to do it, I don't actually focus on the product. I focus on the market first, always. To me, market always comes first and product comes second. I want to find out what are the needs in the marketplace that are not being filled. I want to see what problems are not being solved. I always say that every problem is a product. I want to find out where are people frustrated about a certain thing. Now, of course, if you want to create a new category, you want to be a category king, you want to tap into a blue ocean, that's something that no one's ever done, that's perfectly fine if that's your goal. But from my perspective, most people simply don't have their abilities. Most people, they are too green. It takes some skills to do that. But if this is the first couple of businesses, you are much safer and wiser just to see what's out there right now, what's already selling. What are people already searching for? Let's say if you are selling something online, what are people searching for and already buying on Amazon? What are people already buying from other e-commerce sites? What are people buying in terms of keyword research? What keywords are they typing into Google? And you can easily go to Google and the keyword tool that you can find out how much search volume are there. Are people actively looking for solutions to solve their problems? You see, if you have identified the needs and the demand already, now you just need to think about, I wonder what product I could create to help them solve that particular problem. Now you have minimized your risk. Or if there's a huge marketplace out there that's being created by other people, a smarter entrepreneur would be thinking, how can I kind of ride that wave? How can I tap into that? Example, instead of you trying to come up with the next thing to maybe compete with Apple, the next iPhone, you're no Steve Jobs, I'm no Steve Jobs, chances are that's not going to happen. But you could probably have a very decent business to sell iPhone cases. You might have a very decent business to sell maybe both protective shield that protects people's iPhone. So you think about, because of a company created such a massive demand for this particular product, what are some of the complementary products that you could sell, right? It's like you think about in the ocean, you have the big whale, right? The big whale that's swimming in the ocean. You have that little fish that attach yourself to that big whale, right? Just the leftover from the big whales alone, you could have a very, very successful and profitable business without a lot of risk, without guessing. Well, I guess people want it. I guess there might be demand for it. No, you know, because this marketplace out there, there's this massive demand that's being created. You just kind of tap into that. That's a very, very smart way. I call that chicken entrepreneurship, right? That you are like, you're being a little chicken, you're a little bit afraid, you're being conservative, taking not stupid risk, but calculated risk. How can I use the least amount of money but get my business going, right? Then from there, once you have accumulated capital, once you've kind of have some success under your belt, then you can do bigger things versus, I'm going to invent the next thing that's going to be the next iPhone, better than the iPhone. Well, chances are you're not going to do that. You're not Elon Musk. You're not Steve Jobs, right? Let's just face it. It's good to be realistic in that regard. That would be my recommendation. Any other marketing questions you have? I always look forward to some good marketing questions. Some say I'm one of the greatest marketers on social media. I don't know if I am, but I definitely know a lot about marketing. And a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners come to me for marketing help. So comment below if your question is good. I will, from time to time, pick a good question and answer them when I'm on the way doing something. So until then, I will see you in my next video. I don't want you to just watch and learn from me and not take any action.
Who is Dan Lok? Dan Lok.
15 of them. I'm just fascinated. What's the mindset for you like when you do these businesses? You try, you fail, but you keep that mindset of keep going for it.
It's easy. What's your name?
James Fraser.
James, don't let your self-worth attach to the business. You are you. You have not changed. So just because the business failed, it doesn't mean you failed. They're two different things. What it means is maybe you're lacking some skills to make the business work. That's it's like, let's think about this. How many doors you have knocked on?
Hundreds, thousands. Yeah.
So do you knock on 2 doors and you get a no, and you say, man, I can never do sales. I'm not a good salesman. Forget this, man, forget it. Or is it just because you don't make the sale? No different. If you think your business as a sale, you got your first no. You knock on that first door, you get a first no. Then what do you do as a salesperson? Next door, and you get a no again. But then how many doors you knock until you get a yes? And then once you get that yes, it makes up all the losses. It doesn't matter how many times. No one cares about my 13 failures once you made it. Nobody cares. Now, I do share because I think that inspires people, but nobody cares.
Did you ever have like a point, like 7th or 8th time after that business, like, man, maybe I should go back to Target, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
of course. I would be lying if I say no. Yeah.
Right.
But
you just kept.
But it was a motivation though. It's because I lost so much money in the businesses. In order to pay it back, I had to make it work. So I knew I couldn't pay it back if I just worked for someone else. Because by the time the 13 business failures, I was $150,000 in debt.
Wow.
150K, 20 years old. Borrowed from family and friends and credit card. So how am I going to pay that off? Making 2-3K a month. Forget it. So I had to make it work. I can tell you, if the 14th one didn't work, 15, it doesn't matter. Because compared to I look at other people, I ask myself, and you should ask yourself, am I dumber than everybody else? Do I work less hard than everybody else? If they can make it, why not you? So I ask myself, very honest, I work harder than anybody else. I could outwork and outlearn and outsmart them. And I did. But it takes skill. It takes a bit of time. But by the time, it's quick. And once you make it, then everybody will tell, hey, James, I knew you would do it. I knew you have what it takes. And you're like, screw you guys. Right? It's not like that. So first one, normal.
So do you think it's like beneficial just to try and just keep going, like, you know what I mean? Like I have these it's not scalable at all, like individual soccer lessons, stuff like that. Like, you think go for, like, just do it?
Learn from it. But at the same time, learn the skills. Because like I said, to make a business work, there are certain skill sets to develop. Just like as a salesperson, you know this, you could keep knocking on doors and you would eventually get some sales. But if you know, like right now, if you knock on my door, do you have certain techniques you use that works better than most? Do you have certain things that you say?
Of course, yeah.
How do you develop those things? You learn, you try, right? So business is the same thing. That conversion. Yeah. So you will know that when you start the business, your success rate is higher.
Right.
So now my success rate is high. It's like driving. I know how to drive a car. I could drive an SUV. I could drive a typical car. I can drive a sport car. I know how to drive. I know how to scale a business. I know how to scale a business. Every business is the same. To me, it's the same. Right? Once you know, same thing in sales. So you need to apply the same mentality you apply to sales to business.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You could do sales, you can do business.
Yeah.
100%. In fact, you probably have an advantage because you're not afraid of rejection. If you're talking to customers, they say no, you say no problem, next. Like, you have a huge advantage compared to most. So don't stop, but work on the skills. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Mind if we get a picture?
No.
Awesome, let's do it. Here, my girlfriend, she'll take it.
Okay, sure. What's your name?
I'm Caitlin.
This is Caitlin.
Caitlin, nice to meet you.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your questions, short or life stories,
You got it.
Thank you, man.
Welcome, James. Okay, keep me posted.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
How do you become an extrovert when you are actually an introvert? Now, I am actually an ambivert. What it means is I'm actually introvert by nature, that I like to be by myself, but I could be an extrovert at certain times in an environment that I'm comfortable with. Now, I know it's hard to believe when you watch my videos all the time on social media and you know that I speak to large groups of people, but in private, I'm actually quite introvert. That I like my own space, that I like not to be bothered. Right? So that's an introvert. However, over the years, I've learned that just by being introvert in certain areas, especially when it comes to business, that holds me back. The reason is, in business, it requires you to talk to people, right? Imagine when you're growing up. Think about it. When you're growing up, what did your parents tell you? Don't talk to strangers, right? You're gonna get kidnapped. Right? They're gonna do something harmful to you, right? So it's always growing up, you have this fear, you develop this fear of, ooh, I don't want to talk to strangers. It's very scary, it's very, very dangerous. Well, guess what? After now you're an adult, when you're out there in the real world, if you don't talk to strangers, you're broke. In fact, I say the amount of success, the amount of money is in direct proportion to how many strangers that you talk to every single day. Because in business, what is it all about? It is about getting attention. Number one, after getting attention is turning a stranger into a friend, turning a friend into a customer to a raving fan. That's what business is all about. That's what sales is all about. It's pretty simple. So if you're not talking to strangers, you are not making more money. You cannot be making more money. Marketing is putting your offer, putting your story, putting your product in front of people who didn't know you before. They've never heard of you before. That's called marketing. Who are these people? They're all strangers. So that's what I'm talking about. So you gotta be comfortable. So a few things that I did. Number one, as an introvert, I joined Toastmasters. I learned how to speak in public, to get out of my comfort zone so that I can be a little bit more comfortable talking to people. I forced myself to go to networking functions, to go to business functions, to talk to people, to learn to ask questions, even though it was uncomfortable, but I knew I need to get out of my comfort zone. So now, through training and through conditioning, that I could be an extrovert when necessary. Now, most of the time, I'm still very private, right? I could be in my room just thinking and doing and brainstorming and reading the whole day and not talk to a single person the whole day. And I'm very comfortable with just being by myself. Or I could go out there and I could talk to a huge group of audience, or even connecting with you on social media. I'm perfectly okay as well. So it's trained. Don't feel like, oh, this is who I am. Yes, by nature, you're naturally maybe more like an introvert, but through time, through skills, through training, you could expand your comfort zone. Because think about how many opportunities, comment below, you're missing because you're shy, because you don't want to talk to people, because you don't want to talk to strangers. You're afraid to present, you're afraid to articulate your ideas, you're afraid to communicate. How many opportunities have you lost? How much money are you leaving on the table? And what is preventing you from going to that next level? Comment below.
Hi, this is Dan Locke. I want to get this video to you immediately, and we've been self-quarantined for a week now, and I don't want to wait. So I'm making this video from actually my iPhone, and my wife, Jenny, is actually holding this camera. Now, if you've been laid off recently or put on paid leave, or you are worried about losing your job, then this video is for you. I'll never forget when I lost my job at the supermarket. I remember when I told my mom that I quit, my mom was so scared, and I was very, very scared. I didn't know that how we are going to generate income, but I just knew deep down that's what I wanted to do, because I wanted to pursue my entrepreneurial career. And I know at the time I couldn't do it, stuck at a dead-end job. And at the time, that was the only job I've ever had. Now, because of the coronavirus and because of now this global crisis that a lot of people, in fact, millions and millions of people are losing their jobs.
is very, very unfortunate. So if you happen to fall into the categories and this has impacted your career, I want to give you some tips that hopefully could help you. I know one of my friends who are entrepreneurs just in the last 2 weeks, and with his permission, I could share this with you, that he laid off he had a team of 200 people, he laid off almost 170 of them. So it's down to 30. So it's very challenging times. So if you're worried about getting laid off, here are 3 strategies that could help you. Number 1, cement yourself in your current position. If you still have a job right now, now is the time to step up. Now is the time to be proactive, because some income is better than no income. When you get laid off, you don't know how long it's going to take, and you don't know how long this coronavirus will last. It might take you weeks or months before you find a new job and generate income. In the meantime, what are you going to do? So now it's time to step up. What do I mean by that? Now it's time to communicate with your supervisor, your manager, your CEO, whoever is managing you, leading you, to communicate and say, you know what? I don't mind working. I want to take on more responsibility. I want to take on those tougher assignments. So when they're cutting people off, they're looking at, okay, if they have you and someone else, but you're actually stepping up and they can see that you want to fight with them in the company, chances are they will let this other person go first before they would consider you. Maybe before you were working okay, now you need to work extra hard. Normal is out the window. There's no normal anymore, right? How many hours you work, how much effort that you put in, that's not enough anymore. If you want to survive, if you want to fight, you want to keep your job. Yes, it means that maybe you need to work from home. Yes, it means that you need to work through the weekends. Yes, normal is out the window. To keep your current job, you need to deliver extra value, and you need to communicate with your manager and supervisor and saying that I'm here to stay. What do you need? It also means that maybe now you need to wear multiple hats. Maybe you were hired to do certain things, and now with so many people gone and so many people being laid off, maybe you need to take on a couple more things. It also means that maybe you need to upgrade your skills. Yes, it might mean that you need to volunteer to take a pay cut. You see, again, some income is better than no income, especially during a crisis like this. Let's say you're making $4,000 a month right now. You reduce your pay to $3,000 a month. You lose $1,000 a month, you're still making $3,000. Versus you lose all $4,000 and you don't know when are you gonna get your next job. Maybe it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before you have any income coming in. That would be very challenging for most families. Number 2, build that emergency fund. In my previous video, I talked about this. I recommend anybody to have at least 3 to 6 months or even a year of living expense in cash in your emergency fund account that you don't touch. Now is the time to start that emergency fund. Also, now is the time, believe it or not, to talk to your banks, to talk to the financial institutions to get a line of credit if you don't already have one, or to increase the limit on your credit card, to ask for the equity loan. Not that you want to use it, hopefully you don't need to use it, but you want to be able to have access to funds when you do need it in times like this. Now is the time, because still banks, they still need to loan money out to make money. So now is actually a good time to talk to them. Not every banks will want to talk to you, but if you talk to enough of them, one of them will say yes and give you that extra line of credit that you might need. Number 3, cut all non-essential spending. Now it's a time for you to sit down with your spouse and go through each expense line by line, and see, hey, do we actually need this? Especially those what I call recurring expenses. Do we actually need this expense? And you sit down with them and say, you know what? We don't need that. Now it's time to go lean. Groceries, mortgage, your rent. Yes, we need all that. But what about the other expenses? Do we actually need the cable TV, right? If you have Netflix, maybe you don't need cable TV, right? You look at all those expenses. Maybe that big vacation that you were planning to take, now you have the extra cash, put that in your emergency fund. That big home renovations that you were thinking, now you're gonna delay it. That new car you're gonna buy, delay it.
cut all non-essential spendings, period. Number 4, turn your spare time into learning time. Now is the time to learn. Go listen to that podcast, go read that book, right? Go watch that videos. They don't cost anything. Now is time to learn. Now is not the time to hide in your bunkers. Now is time to actually expand and learn more. And here, investing in yourself, in your knowledge. Not money, it doesn't cost money, but you need to invest some time, right? Now you have a lot more hours. Because when this thing blows over, a couple of things would happen. When this thing blows over, when the coronavirus, when all this is over, if you don't prepare yourself, now you have lost, it could be 3 months, 6 months, or 8 months, or even 1 year of productivity. Or if actually this gets a lot worse, and you have already invested a few months in your own learning, now you're more prepared. Now you could pivot, you have more choices. You could test new things. You can maybe try a new skill, go on a freelance website. Yes, we are now transitioning into a different era. That maybe you need to be more like a free agent. You need to be a freelancer, right? Now you need to be able to work from home. Before, it's nice to work from home. Now, with what's happening with the financial crisis, you need to develop the ability to work from home. It also means maybe it's a couple. Maybe you are a stay-home mom, a stay-home dad. You're taking care of your kids. You are going crazy, I know that. So both could work together as a couple. So both could be generating money. Before, maybe only one was working. Now both need to be working to generate more money and income to put in that emergency fund. And please remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay healthy.
If you are a business owner, what I'm about to share with you in this video will have a profound impact on your business. Over the years, I have started a lot of businesses. I failed in a lot of businesses, and some worked and some didn't. And I'm always very fascinated by the question, why some businesses are more successful than others. How come some businesses could never even break through that 6-figure? And how come there are businesses that's worth $1 billion, the unicorn? Put aside the entrepreneur, put aside timing, put aside luck, put aside even skill. And how could I take some of these findings and implement it in my own business and also teach other business owners? Now, in case you don't know some of the statistics, in US alone, there are 28 million businesses. And out of those 28 million businesses, there's what I call the valley of death. 96% of those businesses never surpassed the $1 million mark. 96%. Only 4% surpass, exceeds that $1 million mark. And out of those, think about it, 96% don't do that. That means most businesses don't make it. Out of that 20 million businesses, only 0.4% ever get to the $10 million mark. 0.4%, think about it. And even less, only less than 17,000 of those businesses ever get to the $50 million mark. That is a tiny, tiny percentage compared to the 28 million businesses in US. Now think about other countries, because I know I have business owners watching me and follow me from other countries. Those numbers are even lower. If you're in Canada, just do the math, because we have way smaller population compared to the US. So that's a very, very, very tiny percentage. So today I'm going to share with you what are some of those distinctions. What is truly the difference between a business that's doing 6-figure versus a business that's doing 7-figure versus a business that's doing 8-figure. You got it? Okay. So I believe at the 6-figure level, let's say from 0 to $1 million, 0 to $1 million, your focus are 3 things: sales, marketing, and offers. When you are a startup, when you're just trying to get the first group of customers, what we need to focus on at that level, the level 1, is how do we get customers in the door? How do we make those first few sales? How do we make those few sales profitably, generating income, generating profits, right? And then think about what are our offers. what does the marketplace want to buy? And once you have an offer, you're bringing people in. How do I offer more things, more products, more services to my existing customers? That's our focus. Sales, marketing, and offer. Those three things. Once you bypass that, now you've cracked that code. That people are coming into your business, people are buying from you, you are building a customer base. And now you're also expanding your team. By the time you get through that $1 million mark, you're no longer doing everything yourself. You've got a team around you. Not maybe a huge team, but you do have a few people around you that's helping you, assisting you to do some of the work, to deliver the results, to deliver the products, right? From the $1 million to $10 million mark, your focus will shift from not just focusing on sales, marketing, and offer, now you're focusing on systems and processes and procedures. Meaning that not only you want to create a result, you want to create a system that would create those results predictably even when you are not there. This is where most entrepreneurs got stuck, because at the $0 to $1 million phase, you are the go-to person. Chances are you're the number one sales person for the company. You are the rainmaker. You are the one that's connecting with customers. You know all the customers. You have the relationships. You're bringing in the money. You're doing probably a lot of the work still at that level. But now you can't, because the capacity issue, right? You hit that glass ceiling. From 1 to 10 million, now you need systems. Why do you need systems? Because then you can bring in people who are better than you that could run those systems to create the same result as if you were there. From the 1 to 10 million. And this is what stops most entrepreneurs. Because what got you to that 1 million won't get you to that 10 million. A lot of the habits, a lot of things that worked in the past, that you could grind it out, you cannot grind it out at that new level. I always say, you could hustle your way to 6-figure, you cannot hustle your way to 7-figure. At 7-figure, you need leverage. And you leverage people, systems, processes to create more results, to create more impact, to create more value in the marketplace. Does that make sense? Comment below. Now, once you get past that $10 million mark, now you're at the next level. Now, at this level, a lot of businesses don't make it because the systems break, right? Things break when you are, especially if you're growing at a hyper speed. It was working fine 6 months, a year, 2 years ago. Suddenly, all those things don't work anymore. Now transitioning from an entrepreneur, now you're acting more like a CEO, as a chief executive officer. So beyond the $10 million level, what you now need to focus on is leadership, culture, and most importantly, strategic decision making. Now you're thinking for the future. What's coming down the pipeline? What are some of the risks, right? What are some of the things that your people won't be able to see because they are in the trenches, they're working, but now you're from the 30,000 feet above view. Okay, what are some of the strategies that we need to do? We need to implement. What are some of the things we want to focus on the next 1 to 3 years? What are some of the things that will happen that might disrupt our industry? And now you have culture, because culture is the glue, right? Culture is how your people would behave when you're not there. Culture is what you use to attract the best talents to your company. So leadership and culture, very, very, very critical. Now you're no longer the best salesperson for your company. You're no longer the best marketer for your company. You're no longer the best operation person in your company. You've got now an executive team, chances are a senior leadership team or a C-suite. They are the ones who are helping you with a lot of the day-to-day. So you could focus on being the visionary, coming up with ideas, coming up with strategies to move the company forward. Now, your job is to think. Now you don't get paid to do, you get paid to think. That's why you are the CEO. And in some cases, some entrepreneurs may not be the best CEOs for their companies because they like to do, that's what they like. They like to be in the trenches. But as a CEO, you cannot do that. You have a much more important job to do, and it's to think ahead, to conceptualize, to strategize. That's what I see. So from 0 to 1 million, that's how you get over the delta value from 1 to 10, and then from 10 to probably 30 to 40 million. By the time you get to 30, 40 million, now there's a whole set of problems that would come up. Now every level is another level. And this is something that I coach and I train entrepreneurs and I help them scale through my advisory board called Dragon 100. If you have a business that's doing at a very minimum at least $100,000 a year, but you're not quite at the $1 million level and you want to break through that, you want to get to the next level, or you have a business that's doing $1 million, between 1 to 10 million, you want to break through to that 10 million, Dragon 100 is where you need to be. To see if you qualify, click a link below and see if it's something that would benefit you and benefit your company.
We've been self-quarantined for almost a week now. You see, I'm making this video, I do not have my typical camera crew with me or fancy lights or fancy productions. This is simply me talking to you through my iPhone, and my wife, Jenny, is actually holding this camera. You see, I know that I have a huge following on social media, and I know for a fact a lot of my fans, a lot of my students, they are being impacted by the coronavirus. I also know that a lot of my friends who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, they are struggling. I know that a lot of them are closing their doors. A lot of them are going out of businesses. These are very challenging times. Some of the videos that you saw on my channel, my YouTube, they were actually pre-recorded a few weeks ago. And this video here is real time. What's happening? Now, I'm not going to give you a rah-rah motivational talk because that's not what's needed right now. What's needed right now are practical strategies that you can apply in your life and in your business that makes a difference. At times like these, there's a lot of fear in the marketplace. There's a lot of fear out there. People are panicking. It is exactly at times like these that they need leadership. Not from me, but from you. That they need leadership from you as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter, as a business owner. They need a leader like you, that you need to step up. You need to take charge of the situation because they're looking towards you. They're counting on you to provide leadership, to provide clarity, to provide confidence, to provide that vision, where we are going. How are we going to overcome this? Now, I'm not going to tell you that everything's going to be fine. In fact, things are not going to be fine. Things are about to get a lot worse. You see, this is not the first time I experienced something like this. Maybe not to this degree, but I have experienced a few major panics like this during my life and my business career. The first one was back in 1997. Back then, I immigrated to Canada, and I was here for a couple of years already. In 1997, when Hong Kong's return to China, that triggered the Asia financial crisis. And within a very short period of time, my father actually went bankrupt because of the financial crisis. So I know firsthand what it's like to be a victim of a financial crisis, what kind of damage that it could do to a family, to your loved ones. You see, because of that, I learned to be self-reliant. I learned that even sometimes in life, you cannot count on even your own father to provide for you, that we have to be self-reliant. The only person that we could count on is ourselves. That I needed to step up as a son to provide for my mom and for my family. And then 2001, 9/11, I remember it. You remember it. I vividly remember I woke up in the morning. My mom was saying to me, "Dan, turn on the TV." I turned on the TV and I saw the plane crash into the World Trade Center. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a movie. I couldn't believe. I've never seen anything like it. And while I was in disbelief, slowly I came to the realization, wow, this really happened. And that, of course, as you know, the stock market plummeted. Also triggered a financial crisis during that time. And I was a business owner, young entrepreneur, not knowing a whole lot, struggling in debt. It was a very tough time, very, very tough time. But then a few years later, 2002, SARS hit Hong Kong. Now, if you know my background, my history, you know I was born in Hong Kong. All my family is in Hong Kong. My mom was with me in here at the time. My father was still in Hong Kong. So it was very, very difficult to see. That's why my heart goes to the nurses, the doctors, the food truck drivers, the policemen, because I know how hard it is. In fact, one of my childhood friend's mom actually worked in the hospital during the time of SARS. It was a very difficult time. So this is not the first time I witness and see something like this. So if you've been impacted by the coronavirus, here's some strategies for you. It might not solve all your problems, but my goal is to give you a little bit more clarity, or maybe to help you to figure out where you should go from here. Number one, and that is don't get paid for your time, get paid for your skills. I've been talking about this for years now. In fact, I wrote a book about it last year called Unlock It, that we are transitioning from the job economy to now the skill economy, that the job economy is dead. The old model of going to school, get a good grades and get a job and work that job for 30 years, that model is outdated. Now we are in the skill economy, meaning that you need to embrace the idea of being more like a free agent, more like a freelancer, more like an independent contractor, more like a remote talent, so that you are not counting on, and you cannot count on the government to solve all these problems for you, that they will rescue you, or you are relying on a company to take care of you. The only person that you could rely on is yourself and your skill set. So maybe, let's say you are a graphic designer and you've been always working for a company. During a crisis like this, maybe it's time to embrace a new model that maybe you'll be more a freelancer, more like a freelancer model, that you are now working with different companies. You're still applying your skill sets, your expertise, but now you can work with more people instead of just relying on one company. That is the old model. The new model is different. Now, if you don't have those skill sets, and maybe you are a waiter, you are a waitress, nothing wrong with that. But the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be a waiter or a waitress for the rest of your life? If waiting is the skill set that you have, or the people skill is the skill set you have, that is good. But knowing that you learn that skill, it also means that you could learn other skill sets. It's at times like these you have to ask yourself, okay, what kind of new skill sets I need to develop? That you're no longer just getting paid for your time just by being there, but actually your skill set. You see, in the job economy, you get paid for your time, but in skill economy, you get paid for results. What kind of results can you deliver? How can you deliver those results more efficiently, more effectively than most other people? Those are the key questions that you need to ask. Number two, double down on your learning. You see, most people during time of self-isolation, what do? They watch Netflix, they watch TV, they play video games. That's their choice. But wouldn't it be smarter to now take these times that you normally wouldn't have, go listen to that podcast, watch more educational videos, learning, take some courses online, learn from other people, read a book, read a Kindle, do something to upgrade your skills. Now is the time to learn. Now is not the time to waste time. See, the world kind of, at the moment, kind of freeze. Everything kind of slows down. Everybody slows down. Now it's time for you to prepare yourself emotionally, but also mentally as well. So that when things return back to kind of normal, you're there. You're prepared. It's very, very critical. Don't waste time. The reason you want to keep learning during times like these, because if you want to keep your job, if you want to get a new job, these skill sets will serve you. You need those additional skill sets, additional knowledge, if you were to survive and thrive in times like these. Number three, expand, don't contract. Maybe you need to change the way that you sell as a business owner. Maybe you need to change the way who you sell it to. Maybe different target market. Maybe different price point. But we need to do something as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Do you know that a lot of great companies today, they were actually launched during recession? IBM, Microsoft, General Motors, Disney, General Electrics. A lot of these great companies, they were launched during the recession. Why? Because during the recession, everybody, they are hiding in their bunkers. They are afraid. Everybody is panicking. But as a smart entrepreneur, if you're smart, you also see opportunities. You see there's way that you could expand if you could survive, if you have the resources, if you know how to allocate your resources. Now is the time, because everybody else, they freeze. If you are the one that's active, you're proactive in the marketplace, and you're expanding your advertising, your marketing more, you will get more attention in the marketplace. And when this blows over, you would have dominated your industry. Now, easy to say, not easy to do. I understand that. But you have to ask yourself, and you have to have that communication with your team and say, hey, this is what is happening. This is what's going on, right? A powerful question that you could ask with your team, and this is the same question that I pose to my team, is this: how could we double our revenue with 50% of our resources? How can we double our revenue with 50% of resources? See, it's a thinking question. And now it expands our mind. Okay, what do we need to do? When the world panics, we expand. That's what a true entrepreneur does. When the world panics, we expand. Also communicate, over-communicate with your vendors, over-communicate with your customers, over-communicate with your employees. Because if now they are working remotely, they're working from home, you don't have that face-to-face interaction. It is more important than ever to actually over-communicate. Because again, they need your leadership. They need to know what is going on. They need to know what you're thinking. They need to know what each other is thinking. Now it's time to unite as a team, to work as a team together, and to move forward. So expand, don't contract. Number 4, cut your losses. There are businesses, we could pivot, we could self-correct, we could re-engineer, we could restructure, yes. But there are businesses cannot be saved. There are businesses that they were already slowly dying. The coronavirus, simply, it is an accelerator, accelerates the dying process. I know how hard it is to walk away from your business, but knowing that you're an entrepreneur, don't let the business define who you are. You are a business owner. It may not be this business. Maybe you've been doing it for years, maybe even decades. But sometimes it may be time to turn the key. But take all the skills and all the knowledge you have to start the next thing. Maybe do it a little bit differently. Serve a different market. Structure the business in a different way. Hire more contractors, more remotely. Maybe it's offline, now it's more online. Maybe it's event driven, now it's more online, virtual learning, social media driven. I don't know your business, but I know there are things that you could do. But sometimes we just hang on too long. We are so emotionally attached to the business. Now we're throwing good money against bad money. Now we're wasting good resources when we could have used that money for something else in the future. That would be my recommendation. Yes, the coronavirus will test your EQ. The coronavirus will test your resourcefulness. Now it's more important than ever to be cool, calm, and collected. Because if you're not cool, calm, and collected, how could you expect your team to be? Number 5, take some time to reflect. You see, when my father went bankrupt, I was kind of living in self-pity. I was asking the question, why does this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? What did I do? But that didn't get me anywhere. So I believe sometimes we need to shift the question. Yes, times are bad, but a better question to ask is, what can I learn from this? Because let's not lose perspective. At the moment, when we're so close to it, when we're experiencing it, of course it's very hard. But you take that out and you look at it from this global epidemic. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years from now.
as challenging as it is, let's not lose perspective. What could we learn from this? How could you ensure that if something like this happens in the future, that you could protect your family, ensure their safety, but also ensure their financial well-being? What could we do to prevent this from ever happening, right? What could we do as a group, as a team, as a company, as a family? What could we do to move forward? What could we learn from each other? Although the social distancing is it sucks, but I bet afterwards, people will be more united. People now will cherish those times when we have with each other. Human beings, sometimes we are very, very interesting. It's at times like this we learn. It's at times like this, if you want to reflect. So, stay safe, stay strong, and stay healthy.
Make a fist. Make it strong. Make a tight fist. When you apply pressure, you're gonna apply pressure slowly. You're gonna do it gradually. And partner B, you try to resist. Do your best to resist.
Hello, my name is Rebecca from season 11.
Hi, Rebecca.
Doing this exercise reminded me of why I joined HTC, because there was a time in my life just before where everything was falling apart and I was falling apart and I was nearly done with bothering to live. And the thing that brought me to Sifu was the meditation, the gratitude meditation. And I remember when I was listening to him and he told me to leave all my worries behind and walk into that light and into my future, and I could see life again. And when I did this exercise, this last one, that's exactly what happened. I heard your voice, Sifu, and my body turned into steel. It turned into this building and I was unmovable. And what that taught me is that the strength is already within me, right? I already have it. It doesn't have to do with the cells in my body. It doesn't have to do with the fiber of my being. I am strength, and all I needed to do was own it. And that's what this exercise taught me.
Applause. I have a number of haters on YouTube, and I look at this. The minute I will upload a new video, I would always get the same people. Like, I don't even know how this works. Because the minute I upload a new video, my team uploads a new video, I would always get the 3 or 5 or 10 thumbs down. Like the minute, every day, they would post negative comments. We block it out, but I know they're in there. So they don't like you, but they watch all your stuff every day, and they interact with your content the minute you post something, and they post a comment consistently for months, but they hate your guts though. I guess that makes them a fan. Wouldn't you say? That makes them a fan. They're spending an awful lot of time hating, right? A lot of time hating. Write it down. How people see you has got nothing to do with you. How people see you has got nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. Because isn't it true? You can post one article and some people would say, this is a phenomenal piece of content. This is awesome. This is life-changing. Same piece of article, some people would say, this is a piece of shit. This is garbage. You just wasted 2 minutes of my life reading this post. Are you looking at the same post? How could it be? How could it, the same post, two different people reading it, one says life-changing is phenomenal, one says a piece of shit. How could it be? Because it's got nothing to do with the post. It has to do with them, their upbringing, their belief system, their psychological makeup. Do this with me. Do this with me. Go ahead, put it in your hand. Go ahead, do this. Every single one of us sees through life with a filter. Put it down. You are watching me, right? You're watching me. I'm communicating. I'm teaching. You hear completely something different, right? From you. And you hear something completely different from you. Because you don't hear a damn word I say. You hear what you want to hear. You hear what you want to hear. You hear, oh, that makes sense for my business. I'll take that in, right? Oh, no, I totally disagree with you. It doesn't make sense at all. So I don't hear you. You hear what you want to hear. You don't hear what I say. So we all have a filter. So when you post content on social media, knowing that you get haters, not because they hate you, and usually the people who hate other people the most, guess what? They hate themselves. They don't hate you. They hate themselves. Usually nameless, faceless, no name. Why? Why no name? Because they're hiding. They don't want people to see. You don't want people to know who they are. That's why they hide. I don't hide. You see me, you see my wife, you know what my wife looks like. You know what my house looks like. What car I drive. Yeah, people know what car I drive. What watch I wear. Doesn't get more the thing they don't is what what underwear brand that I wear. Depends on where I am. At home maybe it's like just naked. Who knows? Right? So yeah, but see what I'm talking about? This is very powerful because when you have a strong personal brand, the key is it helps you to do all the pre-selling. Write it down. Personal brand equals pre-selling. It's not about having a fancy name, a fancy picture, all that stuff. No. It's by the time they interact, they get to you, they know you, like you, and trust you. You do not have to spend time. They know you already. They know your story. They know what you're about. So instead of spending all the time, usually one-on-one, to build up that trust, right? To meet someone. How many of you ever had experienced this? You meet someone, a stranger, a recommendation, right? Okay, let's go to lunch. You get to know this person, they get to know you, right? And then from there, spend a lot of time, right? Networking. How many of you have done networking before? Yes, right? Traditional networking. Personal branding on social media, same. It's networking, but on steroids. It's accelerated. So instead of one-on-one with 10 people, why not have 1 to 1 million? They consume content. They want to get to know you at their own pace. They can watch one video. They can watch 10 videos.
You see, most people, they let lack of resources stop them from achieving whatever goals that they want to accomplish. They always say, oh, I don't know the right people. I don't have the network. I don't have the contacts. I don't have the capital. I don't have the know-how. What should I do? I always believe it's not the lack of resources, but a lack of resourcefulness. It's a form of mental laziness, that they're not thinking very hard. And any little bit of obstacle, oh, I don't know the right people, I don't know how, it just stops them. Versus if you get creative in terms of solutions, get creative in terms of where to find the resources, and getting good at persuading and communicating to other people why they should help you, why they should maybe let you borrow some of those resources. Example, let's say you're an entrepreneur. If you say, well, I don't have any capital, start. Well, you could do something. Get a freaking job. Get some income coming in. Be an intern if you don't know how to do something, right? Once you have developed some skills, some experience, then maybe you could then talk to investors and say, hey, I've got this great idea. I've seen this problem in the marketplace. I want to help solve. Then maybe you could borrow money from them, raise capital from them to invest in your ventures, to invest in your ideas. Then you can get it going. It is so easy and so lazy to say, oh, well, I don't know how and I don't know this. Who cares? No one cares about your excuses. You just hear like bitching, moaning about it and say, I don't know how. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do with your goals? You're just going to be like defeated? Or you're gonna say, I'm gonna get creative, I'm gonna think outside the box, I'm gonna do what it takes, I'm gonna find a way. So well, it goes back to, if you are honest, if you tell the truth, you don't really want it that bad. You wanna say you want it, you wanna pretend you want it. You don't actually want to achieve those goals that bad. Because if you really want to, you will find a way. You hit a wall, you will go through it, you will go around it, you will go under it, you'll climb over it, whatever it takes, you will find a way. There's always, always, always a solution. If you think hard enough and if you try hard enough. So don't let I don't have any resources. Resources is not something that you have. Resources is something that you go create. Resources is something that you go get. Resources is something that you go and persuade other people to give it to you. Think about it. I had a client of mine who recently bought a little insurance brokerage business in New Zealand and wanted me to consult with him on how to take this business that he just bought to the next level. How do you go from that 6 figures to a 7-figure business? How do you break through that $1 million mark? I don't do a lot of consulting, but from time to time when I see an interesting business, when I see an entrepreneurs who would benefit from my advice, I do a little bit of it. So he came to me with this business, and after I reviewed the business, what is going on within the business that he bought, also what are some of the potential opportunities that we could tap into that he may not realize. I gave him 3 strategies on how to grow his business, a 6-figure insurance brokerage business to a 7-figure business. And his biggest profit generator is life insurance. Now, life insurance, it is not something that you and I wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know what? Today's such a beautiful day. Let me buy some life insurance. It's not something that most people are excited buying. It's not something that most people think about buying unless something, unfortunately, tragedy happened to them in the past, and now they're more aware. Okay, maybe I do need some protections. I need an insurance policy for my family. And insurance is not the easiest thing to sell in the world, simply because as a buyer, I don't get any benefit from it except when I'm gone. Like, I don't see anything. It's intangible. I don't see a product, right? It is an insurance policy. It's a backup plan. It's something that I buy would protect my family. So even as a buyer, I don't get any benefit from it. When I utilize it, it's my family that are benefiting from it. And the insurance industry is highly competitive. There are different competitors within the market. So after I looked at it, first of all, on his website, they all have the same kind of a pitch, right? Get a quote on your insurance. And I said, that's not what you want to do. Insurance, it is not an existing demand, it is a created demand. It is something that you need to educate. I call that an education sell. You need to educate people why they need it and what kind of insurance that they need. So here's what I did, and I think these 3 strategies would benefit your business as well. Number 1, I asked him to write a book. So we simply interview some of his best clients, the business that he bought. Pick up the phone, we talk to a number of them, and we basically thank them for the business, appreciate their business, and then we give them a little gift. And then we did an interview with them to kind of extract the stories of why they buy insurance, who they are. Some of them are couples, some of them are single family, some of them are business owners. So we take a dozen of those stories, we pick the best, and then we put together a little book, plus his expertise, educating people on different types of insurance products that they could buy. So now he's got a book, a simple book that he self-published. Nothing fancy, by the way, a few dollars a book, but we make it look very, very, very nice. The second strategy is we use that book as lead generation tool on the internet. So imagine this, instead of running traffic and driving people to say, hey, get a quote on life insurance. No, just because they don't need insurance today doesn't mean they don't need insurance 3 months from now. Again, it is not a product that is top of mind awareness. People are not thinking about this. So instead of driving people to buy insurance right now, we are only targeting people who are thinking about it, or maybe they are not even thinking about buying insurance. But this book would help them. He would market this book online, and he actually gives away the book for free. And from there, he builds up this massive pipeline of people who are thinking about insurance, who are interested in insurance, who might not be thinking they even need insurance. He's got this pipeline. He's not selling insurance. We are creating the demand first. Then from there, with the book, we will invite them to a 2-hour, 30-minute special training session. It's like a seminar on finance. So now he is being positioned as the expert on the subject just in his city. Who else? What other insurance brokers got a book? No one. Now they attend a 2-hour, 30-minute with some Q&A sessions on just helping them. All education, all pure value. No selling, no pitching, nothing. And the event is free. Also free. From the event, then at the end of his talk, all we do, we offer a very simple strategy session to reveal their plan. What kind of insurance products that they might need. Again, no pitch. Then when he sits down with them, also his agents sit down with them, they could see, okay, here you're lacking a little bit of protection here. You need a better policy here. You need to upgrade, increase the premium, whatever it might be. We look at the plan, and by the time this is all done, his closing ratio is way over average. Because think about it, from the book to the event to now sitting down with them one-on-one, giving them the custom financial plan for their family. It's like you go to see a dentist, you do a checkup and say, oh, I have cavity. Yeah, you need to fix that right now. Okay, yeah, I need to fix it. You go through the financial plan. Yeah, you need actually more insurance here. You need that, or you need to change your plan. Yeah, of course, please. Then by that time, it's very simple. So that's the second strategy that I gave him. The third strategy is actually very simple. Then we also identify that one of his best markets is actually business owners. Business owners who are high income but under-invested. I call high income invested. So they have a lot of income cash flow coming in, but really they don't have a lot of plans, right? Not much financial planning. So as a business owner himself, then I ask him to actually go to different local business groups. Same thing, just give value, do a 30-minute, do a 60-minute talk for those business owners about just insurance. From those 3 simple strategies that he implements, it positions him properly, it differentiates him from anybody else in the marketplace. When everybody else is handing out business card, he's giving people a book. By the way, when he's speaking at those local business groups, he also gives everyone a free copy of his book, an autographed copy. You see how that right there positions him as the go-to guy for what he does. Then when people need professional insurance advice, they call his company. It's that simple. We took his business from 6-figure to 7-figure within an extremely short period of time. I hire a lot of consultants within my own business to come in and help me with planning, systems, software, and a number of things. And I would suggest you do the same thing. If you've been following me for some time and you are a business owner and you're kind of stuck, I mean, you have a good business, you have a successful business, but you're stuck on how do you take it to that next level? Go to that 7-figure, go to that 8-figure. What do you need to do? If you're serious, you can book a time with my team by clicking the link below. We don't take on a lot of consulting clients, but if you are a good fit, if I can add value to what you do, we could book a time. So go ahead and do that.
What does it mean to invest in what you know, and why, as a professional investor, you really don't want to invest in something that you don't understand just because you saw someone making money, invest in certain things, or your friend gave you a hot stock tip, or they say they made money with this trading thing or cryptocurrency or whatever it is. It doesn't mean that you should put money into it. You see, very often people invest in something that they don't know or they don't understand is because of one word, and that word is greed. Because they want to get greedy. They think, oh man, I don't want to miss out the opportunity, and so says a good idea, so I'll just put money into it. What you don't understand is, at the end of the day, it's not about a risky investment. It's just like driving a car, right? Driving itself, there is some risk to it, right? Because you have car accidents happening every day, right? Somewhere. But it's not the car that is dangerous, it's the driver, the investor that's dangerous. It has to do with your driving skill. No different than when you're investing, you need investing skill. If you're not so sure what to invest in, it tells me that you lack investing skill and you lack investing knowledge. So why would you invest in something that you don't understand and pray that you will get a good return? It's only people hoping that to get rich quick. It doesn't work that way. It is about investing in something that you know, something that perhaps you're passionate about. That's how you maximize your return as an investor. It's not just buy and hope and pray. No, you know going into it what is going to happen. So not only you should invest in what you know, I personally don't like to invest in things I can't control. When I invest in something, I want a certain amount of control because I know the more control I have over the investment, the higher my return, lower my risk. Example, let's say you buy an index fund where you invest for the long term. I said it in my other videos. It is not like I don't like stocks or index funds. I believe, and I have index fund as a long-term strategy, as like the most basic minimum financial planning that it's good. I'm saying that shouldn't be the only thing that you invest in. It's like, if that's your portfolio, you put this much in index fund long-term, that's okay, right? That's a 30, 40-year plan. That's perfectly fine. For most people, it's better than nothing. What I invest in today shouldn't be what you invest in. What you invest in shouldn't be what I invest in, because what you like and what I like is different, right? How much capital we have, the sophistication the level that we are at, or the skill set that we have, they're totally different. So don't be like, oh, this is what I invest in and that's how you should invest. May not be the case. Someone makes money doing that because they may have certain skill sets that you don't possess. This is why they are able to make that investment work, and you may not be able to make that investment work. For most people, put some money, I'm talking majority of the people who are watching this. Put some money aside, long term, 30, 40 years, it's a decent plan. May not be the only plan that you have, but that's a decent plan. If you want to be, that's passive. But if you want to be more proactive and active investor, then you got to educate yourself. So it's not just investing in something you understand. I believe it's investing in something that I can control. Meaning, I want to have control over the investment. I want to have control over the management of the investment. I want to have control over taxes. I want to have control over my emotion, myself. I want to have control over the entities. I want to have control over how I flow the money, right? The cash flow. Example, if I was to invest in a company, I don't just want to be a passive investor where, okay, here's X amount of dollars, I'll see you in 3 years. I'm a very hands-on, active investor. So if I'm investing in a business, let's say I'm investing in your business, right? I would expect regular report. I would want to have a say in terms of key people that you hire. I want to have a say on the direction of the company. I want to have a say in terms of your marketing campaign. I want to have a say how you're spending money, how you're spending the revenue you're generating. I want to have a say in terms of equity if you're going to bring on additional investors. I'm an active investor. Not that I'm a control freak, because I just have more experience. So I know I can add value versus you making mistakes and trying to figure things out on your own. So I'm very hands-on that way versus here's money and then I don't touch it again. So I don't believe in that. So not just invest in something you know now. So in order to do that, you need to know your stuff. So I get these questions a lot on social media. Here's what I suggest. Let's say if you're going to invest in the stock market, that's what you're interested in. You know what you should invest in? Go buy 100 books on stock investing. Spend 10, 20 bucks a book. Invest your money in those. Read 100 books before you put a single dollar into any kind of stock. That would be my recommendation. You want to invest in real estate? Go buy 100 books on real estate. Learn that first, and then get someone who is a successful real estate investor to kind of show you the ropes. That's how you minimize your risk, and that's how you maximize your return. Always remember, not all progress is measured by ground gained. Sometimes progress is measured by loss avoid. Think about it. How to make money from home. A lot of people, they dream about working from the comfort of their own home. Now, if you know anything about my background, you know that I've only had one job for my entire life, and that was working in a local supermarket as a grocery bagger. And I've been working from home for so many years now. And it's only when my company is so big now, we need an office space just to have a place for all my team members to work in. Even now, I still work from home a lot. I always have a home office for every home that I have. And also a lot of my team members, they also work remotely and work from home as well. So I absolutely love the idea of working from home because I think that saves a whole lot of time from people commuting to work. Because if you would agree, comment below that usually the commuting to work is a whole big waste of time. So let's say if you do want to work from home, what could you do? How do you get started? What is that like? Do you have the discipline of working from home? Is it the right thing for you? So in this video, I want to answer some of those questions and just share with you my perspective. Now, number one, the first concept I want to share with you is that most people, what they do is they make money with manual labor. I call that labor for money instead of skill for money. So if they say you are a plumber, you are a landscaper, you are a waiter, you need to be physically there doing the work in order to earn the money, in order to make a living. On the other hand, skill for money means that you have a skill set that you need nothing more, maybe a laptop, a little computer, or maybe a telephone, or something that you could utilize using technology that you will be able to make money from home and earn a living. It also means that the value that you are able to provide needs to be different from most people. It requires a little bit more what I call high income skills. Skills such as coding or computer programming or copywriting or graphic design, some type of skills that you could offer to the marketplace in exchange of money. You're using now more your brain, your intelligence, your skill sets to make money versus manual labor. Manual labor to make money is always tough because it is a commodity. There are a lot of people that could do what you do versus if you have a unique skill set. Now you are more valuable, not so much as a person, but you're more valuable in terms of skill set to the marketplace. Also, the better you're at your skill set, the more money you could charge, right? There are graphic designers charging $20, $30, $50 on Fiverr. There are graphic designers charging tens of thousands of dollars to do a website. What's the difference? The difference is skill set. So that's my very first strategy for you if you want to work from home. Become more valuable, trade skill for money, not just doing manual labor for money. Strategy number two, if you want to work from the comfort of your own home, and that is to think global, not local. Now, I'm not talking about you gotta build a global organization that sounds so crazy. No, I'm just talking about that your customer base, you should not just aim to serve a customer base in your local market. Example, if I am a graphic designer, I live in Vancouver, Canada, do I just do graphic design for the local businesses? Or do I want to serve a global marketplace? Meaning that I could do graphic design for someone from the United States, someone from Australia, someone from Dubai, someone from Europe. It doesn't really matter. I want to be able to offer my expertise, my skills to the global market instead of a local market, because you never know. Sometimes your local market, your local area may be going through transition. Maybe there's economic downturn. Maybe there are uncertain times, just like the uncertain times that we have now, right? You never know. But if in certain area in your local city, hey, you know what? It's going through a transition or economy is not that good, it doesn't really affect you because if you serve a global market, it's okay. One city doesn't work, you could serve another city. As long as you have access to the internet, you could serve a global market. You see, the ability to work from home has a lot to do with the stability of your income. You don't just want to work from home for 3 months and then 3 months later you have to get a job, you got to go out there and work someplace else outside of home. You want to be able to have that stability, that solid stream of income coming in. What could make that happen is you serve a global market. And if something happens, you're not worried that your income stream is always stable. Does that make sense? Comment below. Work from home strategy number 3, ability over credentials. You see, if you want to work from home, it's very, very important that you are results driven and results oriented. Unlike a typical job where maybe you clock in and clock out, right? Working from home depends on the industry and the profession that you choose, the career that you choose. It's a little bit different. Like, I don't think I've ever hired, let's say, a graphic designer based on, oh, she's got a degree, she's got this certificate. No, I look at her portfolio. Is the work any good? Now, since if you follow my advice, you're serving a global market, you gotta be good. You gotta be good at what you do. Because people will look at your work and they would say, hey, could this person deliver? Could this person deliver within that time frame, within, like, to meet those deadlines? It's pretty critical. So having that degree doesn't really help you. What you need is the ability to actually deliver results. And when you do deliver results, what happens is you will get referrals, right? People will then come to seek you out because you are actually good at what you do. Now, I want to give you one bonus tip, because I do see when people work from home, one of the challenges that they have is distraction. So I've been working from home for so many years, right? So many years. So what I would recommend is you got to have the conversation with your family. Example, if you're mom, right? You got to have those boundaries with your kids. If you're working, let's say, what I'll recommend at home, you could have a little space if you're working from a kitchen table or working from a basement, or even you take one of the rooms from your house and then you say, this is the work office here, right? And then you would communicate to your kids and say, hey, if mommy and daddy is working, if I'm working, please, knowing that I don't want any distraction. You can hang a little sign outside and say, I'm working, means no distraction. It's no different that mommy and daddy is now outside, out there working, even though I'm home, but there has to be that boundary. Because if you don't set that boundary, if you have a lot of distractions coming in and out all the time, you're getting distracted all day, you will not get anything done. And I think for most people, that's what stops them, that's what prevents them from working from home successfully. If you are serious, you're interested in learning more about a career, right? A career, a skill set that you could develop without going through 3-4 years of college and going through school and getting into debt. Something that you could learn and offer to a global marketplace within just a couple of months. Click the link below and join my free masterclass. I think you'll be blown away to see some of the possibilities that's out there, the demand that's out there in the marketplace. So go ahead and do that now.
Make a fist. Make it strong. Make a tight fist. When you apply pressure, you're gonna apply pressure slowly. You're gonna do it gradually. And partner B, you try to resist. Do your best to resist.
My name is Drew Alem.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, guys. Season 4. So my partner was Trey Pierce from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went through the exercises, the first time I was just super fucking Ruby. Like, you're not putting my arm down, it's not happening. And he tried to, he was like blue in the face. And then the second time, when we were doing it again and we got more into the, you're powerless, you're weak, I started to really feel those feelings again that I was holding back. And Sifu, you know, the turmoil I was going through in the middle of this year of losing my father. And then it was the emotional feeling of being next to him on an everyday basis and not being able to save him. Knowing that nothing that we can do can save him. And that feeling made me feel weak and powerless. And when Trey had tried, it was effortless. My arm just caved in, and as soon as that happened, I just broke out in tears. And as much as I try to be strong, and I know a lot of us try to be strong all the time, when we dig deep down into the things that